Hey, what is up, everybody? I know Brandon's okay, so I don't have to ask him. Oh, this guy is just being weird, not wanting to talk.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm here. I'm here. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Another week, another dollar, as they say.
With inflation, it's going to be about $1.25, but
No, probably $1.50, but you know. Yeah, man.
Oh man, a lot of good stuff. Episode 131.
Yeah.
Got some Stellar Blade news coming down. More obviously Pokemon, Nintendo, Ubisoft, Square Enix, just literally everybody. Doom just released today officially.
Yep.
Just a lot coming out, a lot to talk about. Like we just mentioned beforehand as well. Switch 3 weeks away from launching.
Mm-hmm.
Close.
Yeah, we are close. It is pretty dang close to it. We got some Mario movie news. Yeah, some more Switch 2. So guess we'll just dive in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready to go. Get right in. Let's go. Woo! Hyped.
Mark here with the high
Friday.
energy. Oh yeah.
Someone's got to come with the high energy.
Nah, yeah. I'm here for it. So
what he says, he doesn't actually believe it.
I believe it.
I believe it.
Stellar Blade though blocked in over 100 countries. I think it's like 130 to be exact, or something like that, on Steam because of PlayStation. I'm gonna take this one over a little bit, so you know a little bit more.
Yeah, I was trying to pull the thing up real quick because I thought I saved it. Apparently, I didn't. Because an actual proper graphic
okay,
with the actual list. Don't know how well it's going to look on screen. Go ahead and pull it up there. This is the actual thing. And from what I understand is, even though this is published on Steam, it does not require a PSN account. It's essentially blocked in all the countries that can't create a PSN account. Because Sony's just being stupid, and we don't know why Sony's doing this. This is 100% not Shift Up's probably decision, because they make the game. Sony or PlayStation, whoever the official publisher is the one putting this game out, so they're the ones deciding, none of these countries can play this game for whatever reason.
It's crazy. It
doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, even blocked in Madagascar.
I mean, in the glorious best Korea, North Korea, you can't play this on Steam there. I'm sorry. It's blocked.
It's pretty crazy though. 130 countries. I mean, it's,
oh my god. Even the new Pope can't play it. The Holy See, Vatican City State. You can't play it. You can't get the Pope can't play this game. It's a sin. The world's largest sin right there. I'm calling it.
American Pope. Yeah, it's pretty crazy though. I mean, I don't get it. I totally don't get it. I don't get Sony anymore.
We haven't gotten any hard information. We know it doesn't require PSN, so I don't know why it's blocked. Why Sony's not allowing it to be played in these countries. The assumption is that it's just Sony being Sony, and because there's a PSN issue, even though you don't need it. But I mean, yeah, I don't. It just doesn't. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, this is just going to essentially push for people just to pirate these games in these countries.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Like, I get it, Antarctica. Okay, like nobody actually lives in Antarctica. I don't know why that's listed here, but maybe 4 or 5 of these countries somewhat actually make sense, but the vast majority, no, not at all.
It's still crazy though. I mean, to be blocked in 130 countries is pretty crazy. And it's Epic Game Store too. I didn't mention.
Oh that. Yeah, because this is not a Steam. This is a publisher restriction. Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I mean, in other Stellar Blade news, because we had a couple things. So it is getting a complete edition, which is also coming to PS5. So it's not just Steam. In June, Sony leaked the PS launch date or PC launch date for Stellar Blade through a trailer on YouTube, confirming a June 11th release date. Updates in the complete edition include 25 new outfits, a new boss fight, and Japanese and simplified Chinese voiceovers. Doesn't sound like a huge thing for a like complete edition, but
Yeah,
I mean,
so the standard game's 60 on Steam, comes out June 11th, and then it's $80 for the complete edition. So what they say, I believe this is the complete edition of everything. So you've obviously got the game, Planet Diving Suit, Fluffy Bear Pack, which I'm pretty sure they're in the original game. Stargazer Suit EV, half rim glasses, just primarily stuff for the costumes.
yeah,
2,000 of the SP, 5,000 gold. I'm pretty sure this is all part of the content that it came out the same edition that came out on PC, or not on PC, but on
PS5.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
As well as the Stellar Blade Nier Automata and the Goddess Victory Nikkei expansions as well, which are all cosmetic.
Yeah.
Plus, from what I understand, more costumes and stuff are supposed to be coming as well. Pre-purchase offers, so obviously this is just a lot of the same stuff that you got before, I believe.
Right.
I don't have the PlayStation. I haven't played it in like a year to know exactly. But they say pre-purchase to receive the Planet Diving Suit for Eve, the white edition, which is on the left, the classic round glasses for Eve, and the armor earrings for Eve, which are obviously all right here.
Right.
As well as the complete edition stuff, which is the bear for your little mech, and then the black gold diving suit, whatever you want to ask it. Obviously, you can link your Steam account to get the Planet Diving Suit second. That's something you want.
Lame.
It's if you link your account, you get like one little cosmetic. It is what it is. It's not the end of the world. And then I guess as far as the Steam page, it's just more telling you about it. They say new content for this. So test your skill strength against the fearsome warrior Mon, or whatever they say, the leader of the Sentinels and boss challenge mode, Chinese and Japanese voiceover and lip sync support, as well as 25 costumes, 3 pairs of glasses, and 6 pairs of earrings. So obviously the big thing is where you get more
dress up game, or
I mean that's all the cosmetics. That's like a lot of the achievements are for the cosmetics, obviously.
Yeah.
As well as far as the PC specific features, this will support ultra wide, including 21:9 and 32:9, which is nice because ultra wides are becoming more prevalent. They're becoming more affordable, like $200-$400. You can get an ultra wide monitor at 1440p. So this will be using NVIDIA DLSS 4 AI powered graphics, as well as the DLAA image quality enhancements, as well as it'll be using the AMD FSR3. So obviously DLSS is gonna be one of the biggest things. Hopefully it's actually beneficial. And this is a proper port to where this isn't just a patch. This is actually enhancing the experience and the graphics.
Yeah, hopefully it's not some garbage.
Yeah,
we've been seeing too much of that.
Yeah, which to be fair is kind of because this is a lot of this is standard, but if you're new to the PC, it's the big hot thing to talk about. Unlock frame rates, it's not. It's like a standard thing you'd expect on PC, it not to be locked at 30 or 60 frame rate. Texture pack up to 4K. So you can play this game on a controller or a keyboard. Obviously, it was designed around a controller, so hopefully they're
you can still use a DualSense with haptics.
Yeah.
Oh, which right below it.
The problem with these games is you can tell everything's designed around like a controller. So the main hope being that it's sometimes there are games that they struggle to adapt to keyboard and mouse, because I know Zero Dawn had that issue. It was not the best ported game graphically or keyboard mouse support, and even after they fixed some of the issues going back to it, it was still definitely an adjustment. Just because you can tell everything was not designed with keyboard and mouse in mind. And then they say they got the haptic feedback, adaptive triggers and stuff like that, so all that will be supported hopefully. And then it's a mature game, and then obviously the main specs. So recommended Intel Core i5-8400 or the Ryzen 5 3600X, 16 gigs of RAM, at least a 2060 Super or RX 57 XT. 75 gigs. It's a fairly large game, and then that's for 1440p graphic quality preset at medium, 60 FPS and stuff like that. So if you've got stuff that's significantly better than this, playing it at 1440p at like high settings shouldn't really be a
But yeah, you can even run it with the 1060. So most people should be able to play the game, which is good. So
yeah, so obviously there's a lot to talk about. I mean, I'm excited for this game to come out.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too. I don't know that I'm going to buy it right away, just because I mean I already have it and I'm stuck on PS5. But I do want to get it. And
They've yet, as far as the PC side, to have really any bad publicity outside of the Sony restrictions, but that's obviously not Shift's Up problem. That's a Sony problem.
Yeah.
Though for most of us in the West, this isn't going to be a problem, but it obviously sucks for those people that do have to deal with it. But outside of like that issue, all the new content, all the support that they're saying, as long as this game is properly ported and runs just as well as it did on the PS5 at launch, should be a fairly successful launch. Yeah. I think if it's hitting 10 to 15,000 players on Steam at launch, it'll be I would assume fairly successful, because this game's already made its money on the console, and then considering the amount of work that has to go into a port isn't the same as making a new game. I don't think this game needs to be hitting like 50, 60,000 to like break even.
I don't think so either.
I think they've already, all the effort they put into this, they've still are on the plus on the money and stuff like that. So, yeah, but obviously love the game when on PC, because we all know what's eventually going to be coming, which are the mods. That's like the big thing people are waiting on.
Yeah, the mods
to see how crazy they go on that.
They're going to go real crazy with the mods on this game.
Yeah, because this game was leaked about 2 days prior. They're like, oh, hey, this game's coming out on the 11th. And then they kind of come out and made the tweet like, hey, the game's coming to PC on the 11th, though everybody already knew, because they're like, they acknowledged it. Shift Up acknowledged it in their tweet that, yeah, this game was leaked. You already know, but here's the official announcement. And then shortly after, the Steam page was properly updated with all this stuff. So,
yeah, I saw somebody tweeted, seriously, Sony, seriously, and they put, may I ask where you live, with a crying face emoji. Stellarblade did.
Because they obviously know what's going on and stuff like that. It's like, and to be fair, it's one of those everyone understands. It's not a Shift Up issue. This is a Sony issue, because when you deal with publishing rights, it's the publisher that deals with it, not usually the studio. So hopefully that will get resolved. But I mean, who knows? Sony they like to do whatever they're going to do. So
yeah, apparently they do. So
hopefully, at least if you're in those countries, you still have access to get a PlayStation or play it on the console one way or another.
They the pre-orders are ranked number 2 on the top sellers on Steam right now for Stellar Blade. Yeah, so that's cool.
And the number is going to probably go down because people are going to pre-order it, and then it's got like another month before the game actually comes out. So
yeah, for sure.
But like I said, I think if the game's hitting anywhere from 10 to 15, I think if it hits 20,000, it'll be fairly successful, because obviously the game's a year old. A lot of people have already played it and moved on to other games. So I don't expect it to be like, doing these fantastic numbers and stuff like that. But
no, I agree.
I think if it hits those numbers, it'll be, I would consider it a success, considering it's already been out and stuff like that. So
yeah, I agree.
I don't know. A lot of people are like me, who like, I beat it on PlayStation. Now I'm going to get it again and play it again on PC.
Yeah, I agree.
A little bit of a give and take, but I mean, I guess it's decent. You talk about one block going to the other.
Yeah, for sure.
Because Apple's being weird with Fortnite right now. Is that right? On the App Store?
Yeah, I saw this earlier today. It's crazy with this block stuff that's going on, but I think this has happened once before, right? With Fortnite and Apple. I think this is like the second time.
I don't play, so I don't really pay attention to it. That's the problem.
Fortnite announced that Apple blocked its submission, which has resulted in it being unable to release on the US App Store or the Epic Games Store for iOS in the European Union. Epic Games was recently forced to delay its major May 15th update to May 16th, which many fans believe would result in the return of Fortnite's iOS platforms.
Yeah, and it's also been blocked in the EU as well. I assume that there's probably some issue as far as regulations or something with the app stores that they're not compliant with, I assume.
Yeah, it says that, like, their official tweet says, now, sadly, Fortnite on iOS will be offline worldwide until Apple unblocks it. So,
which, I mean, to be fair, like, Apple makes money on the App Store, because when you're doing microtransactions, more than likely this goes through the App Store, and Apple makes money. So they're not blocking this probably because they want to. There's probably some regulatory issue, I assume, that they're just not coming out and telling us right now.
Yeah, there's pretty much no more details on it. I mean, that's basically it. Fortnite came out and said that, and that's kind of like all we know. So interesting. Big game. Don't play it myself, but sucks, I guess.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, assuming if you already have it downloaded, playing on the servers shouldn't be an issue, but obviously downloading it would be might be an issue. Obviously, this is not the only you can play it on other platforms, but I assume there's some issue going on behind the scenes.
I bet
Either
there's a
these
lot
companies
more
not getting
people.
along, or there's some regulatory issue they're just not telling us that's going on.
I
I mean, it's obviously one of those two things.
I have a feeling the numbers for Fortnite players on Apple are probably like way higher than we think they are too.
I mean, because everyone has a phone. It's a free
or tablet
download and stuff like that. So
kids.
yeah, I
and
assume it's
tablet.
massive. A lot of people that probably play this on their phone will play it on PC or on a console or something like that. So
Yeah, for sure.
it's a really popular game that I don't play. I played it at launch for like 2 weeks, and then I just never played it again.
Yeah, I played a couple times. I never cared for it, to be honest with you. It was like better in the beginning, right? People liked it better in the beginning.
I mean, it was a different game. It didn't have like a hard meta, but it was also just like the new thing.
Yeah.
This kind of became the new Minecraft and stuff like that, to be fair. It's kind of like that. It's a hyper popular game that was kind of like popular to hate on.
I mean, I played quite a bit of PUBG, which was like kind of the competitor when it came out, like doing the same sort of thing, sort of. But that was like early on. That was like
because when Fortnite came out, like the battle royale wasn't even like the main thing. It was like the side mode to like the single player story.
Save the world or whatever the heck it was.
Yeah, until they like scrapped it because like, oh, this is really profitable. Let's just do this instead.
Yeah, it's like it's such a weird thing. Yeah, it's crazy.
I guess you'll know more about this because I'm not the biggest fighting game fan, but an issue with Mortal Kombat 1 going on.
Yeah, I don't entirely know what the actual issue is. So this week they came out and announced a definitive edition. But here's all I know as far as people like worried about the thing. They think this means the end of support for the game. This game, people don't love it, so I'm confused why people are worried about it. So much I haven't even bought the game yet.
I'm sure there's some people that like it.
I mean, I'll get this definitive edition, so I'll get it finally, like, a year and a half later or something. But I'm not like even excited to play it or anything because the game just doesn't look great. From people I've talked to that like a big fighting game fans and stuff like that, like it's just not it's not being played like on a grand scale competitively, which is not good. A lot of people aren't playing competitively,
and that's like what these games live and die off is their competitive scene.
Exactly, yeah. So if the game's being played competitively, then it's a big deal game for fighting game fans, pretty much. So this game's just like it's not. I don't know. It's kind of a mess, from my understanding. So not crazy excited about. Basically, people are just worried this means the end of support for the game, so that that means no more content is coming because it's already a definitive edition like a year and a half later. I forget what the launch date for this game was.
I assume probably you should get another game next year.
September 19th, 2023. So yeah, I mean, year and how many months is that? 7 months, something like that. 8 months.
This game's coming on 2 years old, so I don't know what's the normal gap between Mortal Kombat games. I assume like 3-4 years.
4 years, something like that, I think. Let me see what Mortal Kombat.
They kind of the way they started like labeling their games, it's like Mortal Kombat 1, like that's a weird naming convention to start going down.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Like the Xbox.
The Xbox is doing. I'm like this naming convention is terrible.
Yeah, it's not a good idea. So yeah, Mortal Kombat 11 came out in 2019. So yeah, 4 years exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I would think probably around the 4-year mark. So coming up on close to 2 years, but not quite 2 years. So it is a little weird to see that. I think that's the biggest thing is people are worried like, oh, this means no more content's coming.
I mean, unless unless
wraps it up is what people
unless Warner Brothers Games is really having that much problem right now that's affecting this game support.
They definitely have problems. We know that.
It's not good that they're their one successful game right now.
Oh God, yeah. They definitely have problems, that's for sure. But in other news, we got a new Persona game announced, which is Persona 5: The Phantom X, which finally confirms Western release date. Looks like released in the West in Japan on June 26th for PC and mobile devices. So
get wrecked consoles.
Yeah, I'm not excited about this at all because it's.
Do you know what this is supposed to be about? Is like a definitive edition or is like a spin-off game for 5?
It's a spin-off gotcha game. Straight up gotcha game. Yeah, so that's why I say I'm not excited about this game at all. Which is unfortunate because I do love Persona, but I can't care about gotcha games at all. I just can't. I ain't got the time. I tried a couple of them and it's just not for me. I get the appeal, but it's one of those things where, yeah, I mean, yeah, I want to like it, but it's like, let's move on from Persona 5 for one.
I mean, there's probably just a way to make money while they're working on their next game. But I mean, to be fair, like gotcha is just a really popular thing, especially like in Japan.
Yeah, I wonder how well this will do because of that fact.
I mean, technically, Pokemon cards are a gotcha. That's exactly what they are.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's like the only form of gotcha that's popular.
I mean,
all these games are like, I'm spending money. I need that. I need my waifu PNG with the right outfit on.
See, that's why I don't like gotcha games.
Because they're just money.
That's the truth.
Throw money at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's you hear about like Asmongold talked about it. They talked about it on that podcast that they have too about the amount of money that they spend on like gotcha games. It's like unreal.
Gotcha games are like mad.
They make a lot of
mad money.
Yeah,
they're really big. They just rake in money.
But I just can't care about. I've tried it. Like I said, I've tried a couple gotcha games, so it's not like I haven't tried to play them. it's just not for me.
I mean, you can tell it's kind of more like it's got the
so yeah, it looks cheaper.
Like a spinoff.
Yeah.
I mean, if it has to work on a mobile device, you can't have these like massive graphics that would work on a PC or a console.
Right. You can tell it's got a cheaper aesthetic to it than Persona 5 Royal.
Yeah, because a phone has to be able to run this, and well, phones have a lot of power in them. The power is not always designed for gaming graphics.
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I think the iPhone could probably run Persona 5 Royal.
I mean, it probably could to some degree.
They're pretty beefy.
If the Switch could run it, a phone could run it. You would just need to probably modify a few things here or there on top of the control scheme.
But yeah, there you have it for our video watchers for the podcast. Shut off the trailer there. But yeah, available June 26th. So if you like gotcha games, you like Persona, that's right up your alley.
Yeah, I don't know if it's for me. Then again, I got more than I think I got like 4 hours into Persona 5. I didn't like it as much as 4, to be honest.
I mean, I didn't either, but I still like 5. 4 is just like I think it's peak Persona for me, personally. But I don't know. I just got really attached to that game on the Vita. I really did. I didn't even rebuy it. Like, I know it's on PC now. It's on all the other consoles and stuff like that. But it's also like I think I sunk like 150 hours in that game. So it's a pretty beefy game. It's 100 hours for the main story.
I mean, they all are. That's like the standard JRPG. You're gonna put 50 to 100 hours in this game.
Yeah, it's 100 hours for the main story all day. But yeah, I mean, Persona 5 same way. All those games are just incredibly long. But
you expect to have to put a lot of hours into any JRPG. It's just the nature of what those games are.
Yeah, and then I really do hope that we get to see a sequel. I think we will. I think it's going to be, SMT, Persona, and Metaphor now, because Metaphor just did so incredibly well, and it's such a fantastic freaking game. I mean, you think of some of the RPGs that we've gotten that are just like these super heavy hitters, like Expedition 33. You kind of wrote it off a little bit before. You're like, I don't, you know what I mean?
I mean,
it's like crazy successful.
To be fair, that's like you approach every new game with wariness of like, oh, is this even gonna be worth my time? You've been burned so many
we
times.
do. Yeah,
You just
I'm the
naturally
same
have
way.
to become wary of a game, which just, like, let me dip my toes to see if it's even worth my time.
Yeah, I just said I was gonna try it. I said it looked good, but I was also skeptical because it showcases Microsoft, and eh, yeah, you know how the stuff is with
Yeah.
them. But we also got Killer Instinct Gold is now available on Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion packs. So
More fighting
pretty
game love.
pretty cool addition there. Fun game. I like it.
Going old school in here. Look at those polygon graphics.
I think
That
it's
bring back memories. I'm
I'm gonna
not gonna
have to
lie.
try it, but I think it still holds up pretty well. It's been I played it maybe like 2018, 2019 again because I've got it on the 64.
You would
Uh
assume that like a game like a fighting game like this, where it would just hold up more because the only thing that really moves with the characters, you can have
yeah, the
fairly
background is
static
static.
backgrounds for the most part.
Yeah, yeah. Um
Again, I'm biased. I think a lot of 64 games still hold up, even though they graphically just don't look as good. They're still fun, but there's obviously a lot of memories and stuff there as well.
no, I think the 64 gets too much hate. You see it like I
It's
see, but it's weird. I see it get a lot of love, and then I see it get a lot of hate because people are
well,
like,
the
it's got
problem.
such a small library of games. There's like hardly any games, but then you like pull up the list of like bangers for the 64. I'm like, it's a pretty big list of games. Like for me, if I had just those games, I'd be content with the 64. If I had just all those
Yeah, but
games that are
like
the bangers.
all those bangers are obviously first party or second party games because
Pretty
you look
much,
back at the
yeah.
era, all the third parties were with Sony using the disc instead of using cartridges. But
Yeah.
looking back, I think the 64, a lot of 64 games hold up a lot better than a lot of PlayStation games do.
I'd say the same thing. I think visually speaking, I think 64 games hold up a lot better than PS1. Like, there's something about I always try to explain this because I talked about it before on the podcast, but there's something about like the sharpness of the polygons on the PlayStation that are so unappealing. Like
Like there
they're
was
so
less love and,
sharp.
and care to put into it to adjust for your graphical limitations with the design and an art style.
Yeah, I think it could have just been the architecture of the PS1 because I mean, like almost all the games are like that. Like you look back at like Twisted Metal 2 or something like that. And like I don't know what it is about the sharp polygons that like just throw me off so much. I like the PS1, but I think there's a lot of great games. Obviously, the RPGs on there are fantastic. It's got some of the best ever made.
I
I
think you see a
mean,
lot of today. A
obviously
lot of
7,
those
8.
third party studios are just trying to get games out the window. They didn't put as much care effort into their games.
Yeah.
Where Nintendo, a lot of their studios required a level of like fidelity, especially like Rare is probably the best studio. They put out arguably the best games on the 64
Yeah, they put out
outside of like
some Diddy
outside of
Kong
like Mario 64.
Racing, Jet Force Gemini,
Because when you think of 64, you're pretty much thinking of
007.
like every single Rare game ever. Like the Rare was the 64 library
Yeah,
more or
it
less.
really was. I mean, we looked at like the list of all the games from Rare from like SNES to 64, and it's just like,
It's a shame
I mean, even
Nintendo was.
NES, but
It's a shame Nintendo didn't snatch up the studio they let
yeah,
Microsoft buy them out.
yeah, it could have been a whole different story with Rare today. Now we just got
We
pirate
just get Sea of
games.
Thieves out of it. That's all they work on now is Sea of Thieves. We don't
Yeah,
get anything else out of them.
which is crazy. They got that one. What's the game they've been working on for like ever?
I
I
can't remember,
forget
to
what
be
I
honest.
forget what it's called, but yeah, guess we'll see what happens with them. We've got what we got next, Mark.
Nintendo addressing some of their supply issues. Uh, from what they're saying is the demand for they're coming out and saying the demand to in the US for the Switch 2 is expected to be met all the way through 2025. Uh, I don't know exactly what they mean. Are they expecting it to continue to sell out? Or are they expecting to meet demand the way they kind of word some of this stuff? But essentially, Nintendo said they plan to produce at least 15 million Switches globally by March of next year. Uh, so I assume that based off of what they're saying, I assume they're planning to make another 15 million more by next year, which means it takes about a year to produce 15 million consoles. That's like their production limit essentially.
Yeah,
That's the way I'm kind of reading this, unless
yeah, I'm kind of taking it the same way. Yeah, I don't know. This is interesting. It kind of goes on top of a little bit, but GameStop just a few hours ago said they're going to have like additional units available in store and online day of launch, which is interesting. So let me pull this up real
Yeah,
quick.
because they came out and said, as we look at our plans here in the US, we do believe we'll have production and supply that will allow us to meet consumer demand. And essentially, it was reported in the Japanese outlet Nikkei that Nintendo was prepared to delay the then unannounced Switch indefinitely until it can ensure that supply chain would meet the early demand for the console. So it kind of what we were kind of expecting already. They delayed the announcement because they didn't want to essentially release the console until they could meet the demand of the. So they wouldn't run into supply issues because they know they were going to have a lot of demand up front. So the idea is we want to, be able to deal with that. So when demand isn't as high, we can still pump out consoles and it not be an issue. You meet that initial hard demand, and then you can steadily pump out consoles to not have an issue. But obviously, you don't want them just sitting on shelves forever and stuff like that. So, Brandon brought up some GameStop stuff. Didn't pre-order. Additional Switch 2 units will be available in store and online at launch while supplies last. Yeah, I don't know how that's supposed to work because I know as far as GameStop, I talked with my GameStop stores and they were getting X amount of consoles, and I'm pretty sure those were all allocated to pre-orders. But I didn't ask as far as they were expecting to have any on launch day. They just knew they were going to have X amount of consoles allocated to their store at launch, essentially.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But I mean, this is going to be obviously probably a per store basis type deal. You know
Yeah,
what I
and
mean?
I don't know if the stores were saying, "Hey, you have to hold this for launch day," or if you don't sell out, they're going to do something else. I don't know. I haven't looked into to ask as much.
But I guess the big thing here is they're going to have additional units online too. So
Yeah,
I
which
mean,
is nice. They're not like releasing their whole stock and stuff like that. Or it's like this is what we have right now. We're going to get X amount by launch and stuff like that. So
I mean, I gotta say, this is like the best launch for anything in like a long time. I guess since
the delay was probably worth it to hopefully minimize the amount
yeah.
of supply issues. Obviously, not everyone's going to be able to get it at launch, but if they can maximize the ability to get consoles out there at launch. That's obviously better. This is better than the last
Yeah.
console launch with we already talked about with Xbox and PlayStation. Those launches were just terrible.
Yeah, they
And
were awful.
not every site was the best, but I think a lot of sites and stuff like that, like Walmart and Best Buy, had some of the better. They had a better system in place than we've had in past as far as
Yeah,
pre-ordering online and stuff like that. Still not
for
perfect,
sure.
still issues here or there, but it was better than say what I don't want to think. I was thinking Staples. It's not the right thing. Target had, which was still to just good luck. We're not changing our website for you.
Somehow I got through every website like for friends. I didn't get any like extra units or anything, but yeah, I mean Target was a mess. That was awful. I don't
Yeah,
know how I got
at
through that.
least Best Buy and
I'm
Walmart
very
had some
lucky.
sort of they had some sort of queue in place to help mitigate the not only the issue on their website, but to make the process go a little bit smoother.
What time in the morning was it for you when you got through Walmart?
I think it was almost 1 a.m.
Yeah, it was 1 a.m. your time too. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
it was like that's like what 3 a.m. for you or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, that's crazy. Because it went live at 12 my time, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
about 10 my time, so it was about 2.5 hours or something like that, 2.5 3 hours. I don't know the exact time, but it was
crazy.
well past midnight.
Yeah, it's
Because
crazy.
I assumed early on, like, oh, I screwed up. I'm like, all right, nah, 15 minutes in, I'm like, I'm screwed. It's sold out. I'm so used to these websites working a very specific way with their pre-orders. Like, if you don't get in like the first 5 minutes, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like the fact that all the websites people were still getting it that much later, because even Target, like as much of a crap show that was, people were still getting it into the morning. Like people
Yeah,
were still getting through somehow. And then Best Buy, I think Best Buy was the same way. Like I think like a few hours later, like was it Walmart or Best Buy? Like the next morning, like some people were still getting units. I think it was
I'm
Walmart.
not
It
sure.
might have been Walmart,
As
but
soon as we got through, and I figured like what I wasn't gonna get through, I'm like, I'm going to bed, and then I didn't look at anything the next day.
Yeah, I saw like some tweets and stuff from people that were still getting through, but yeah, it's I mean, I think it's been a better, like, sort of, the game system hasn't launched yet, obviously, but launch pre-order window, whatever for it. But yeah, I guess we'll have to see what kind of happens. I have a strong feeling like we're going to see these in stores a lot quicker than we did like previous systems and stuff,
Yeah,
though.
like probably the first 2-3 months it might be in
Yeah,
and out of stock, but yeah, I think Nintendo's goal is they want it to not be a stocking issue by the time you get to holiday season. It's a big sale, so
right,
you have yourself a buffer. You get a lot of the immediate demand that's there out of the gate right at the offset. So you still have a strong demand, but it's not that immediate like the people that have to buy it right now out the gate and stuff like that.
right.
And
Yeah,
hopefully this will keeping a good supply chain will probably mitigate the issue of scalpers as well.
for sure. Uh, so this next news we got, I was like kind of shocked by this a little bit, but because I've been playing this game a lot and I love it. I think it's great. It's a fantastic game. Um, I mean, Fatal Fury, SNK game. Obviously, SNK puts out, big fighters, or has for years in years past anyway. But what I didn't know was Saudi Arabia basically bought SNK. It's not in this particular article that I've got on here, but I read it. I read it a couple of days ago, and they own like 98% of the company now, which SNK is obviously a Japanese company. Very Japanese. This game is also like very Japanese. So I was like shocked to see that. I didn't know the Saudi Arabia bought SNK, which is crazy to me.
It is
But
crazy.
the game sold just 6,302 units on the PS5, and it's native in Japan through Golden Week. That is really bad.
Yeah, that's not good at all.
Really bad. Um,
Do you know
yeah.
how much it sold like worldwide and stuff like that, or
Let me see if I can pull up
because was this
full
only
sale.
on the PlayStation?
No, it's on everything. It's on PC. It's on Xbox. It's not on the Switch though. It's
I was just gonna pull up the Steam DB, see what the numbers were on that.
probably
So
horrendous.
on Steam, because what this game launched, May 10th?
Yeah.
I guess it's technically back in April, but as far as like the Steam chart goes, it peaked all time 25 days ago at 4,674 players on Steam. It's got just under 1,000 players right now.
This is so disappointing to me. You have no idea, because I love SNK. Like, I truly love SNK.
Yeah.
Big fan of the Neo Geo and stuff, but like, and this game it truly is fantastic, and everybody I talk to that I do know is playing it and stuff really likes it, and it's got a competitive scene.
Yeah, I mean, it's got
crazy.
it's got an 84% or it's got an 85% on Steam, but it just doesn't have the numbers.
And it's being played competitively and stuff already. So, like, it's been announced for like the big tournaments and stuff. So
Hopefully, it gets some better views. Maybe people just don't know about it.
yeah, I don't
I
know.
mean, usually like your first 2 weeks is like where you're gonna get the bulk of your sales for most of these games.
It says the PlayStation 4 version sold 2,599 copies in its first week and didn't make the top 30 charts in the second week.
So you're saying this
So,
game is like
ouch.
sold less than like 100,000 across the board globally, which would be terrible for this. This game would have lost probably money at that point. I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
I'm assuming that this is probably lost money. Yeah, I
I
would.
don't know how much it cost. I mean, maybe this game didn't cost that much to develop, but you assume this probably cost at least 50 million to develop, so they're probably losing money somewhere.
I'm guessing that this game's gonna lose money. It's got to, because
Or even if it breaks even, it's not going to make that much money to the point where if this game doesn't make money in the next few months, it might just be the end of Fatal Fury for a while.
I was trying to see if I can get like a total sale number of where we're at, but I mean, I'm just getting like first couple weeks sales, because it just launched not that long ago, so I guess that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, this is crazy. This is like crazy low. I'm just like surprised to see some of these numbers for some of these game launches. But yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate, but it is a really good, really, really good fighting game. I have a lot of fun. I'm playing through the whole like story with all the characters and stuff like that. So it's been basically until Doom launched. I mean, I played 6 levels of Doom so far, but until that's all I was playing pretty much. I mean, just like it's like one of those games where you can pick up and play type deal. So I'd play for, if I had 45 minutes or whatever, then I'd play for 45 minutes or something like that. But yeah.
I don't know. Then again, I maybe this game probably suffers from a lot of stuff. I don't know if it was marketed all that well.
Well, that's the thing. This game had like it's crazy. All right, so let me see if I can find.
Because I didn't even see this game come out in my GameStop. Like usually the new games that got out and stuff like that, I've never actually seen this game pop up once. Even on the coming soon stuff that they just advertise new games.
Oh, okay. So here's a little bit more info. All right, so this was yesterday. This article came out. SNK CEO steps down after Fatal Fury City of the Wolves bombs. This is for this particular. It's hard to explain because you've got like King of Fighters and stuff like this that's kind of like connected to Fatal Fury, that's connected to like Samurai Showdown. Like all these games are sort of connected in this sort of deal with Neo Geo and stuff. But this is it's been 26 years since the last City of the Wolves, or since the last
Fatal Fury.
Yeah, game. So it says they poured a lot of money into the marketing and advertising standpoint, but it doesn't appear to have paid dividends. And now SNK CEO has stepped down barely a month after its release. You might have seen it advertised somewhere. It was all over WWE's ring during WrestleMania weekend. It's been heavily promoted on the internet and YouTube. SNK Corporation went all in on the franchise's first new release in the quarter of a century. I mean, like this has been everywhere, and like boxing matches and like different like WWE and stuff like that. Like I've seen it advertised everywhere. Tons of advertisements online. SNK today announced that Mr. Kenji Matsubara will transition to an advisory role where he'll continue to lend his expertise and vision. So Fatal Fury's all-time Steam player count, 4,592, and in Japan, the game had only shifted 10,000 copies on PlayStation by the end of its second week. Remains to be seen if the game receives a boost in the future or if it's already DOA. Yeah, it's unfortunate, man.
You'll probably know in the coming weeks whether this game's going to get any kind of boost or it's just going to kind of fizzle out.
Then again, it's not even like a Japanese-owned company anymore. It's like 98% Saudi Arabia. So, I mean, kind of ruin the mysticism of the company for me, but
I mean, that's just where the money comes from. It's still developed in Japan, but I mean, like, it's not good for the future of the company if they've like a massive flop like this.
No, it's not for sure.
And then just wanted to bring up before we moved on to the next thing, because we were talking about these Stellar Blade region lock stuff. I didn't see this until like a minute ago.
Okay.
But apparently they came out and the developer says, we are closely discussing the region lock issue with the publisher and are doing our best to resolve most of it as soon as possible. As shown in the test chart below, the DRM has been hard tuned to maintain the same average frame rate with even higher minimum frames. In some cases, mods are fully supported without any restrictions. PSN connecting entirely optional and never required. Both the PC and PS5 versions offer the same content. We will make sure that early buyers are never at a disadvantage through future updates.
Well, that's not entirely true. PS5 doesn't offer mods, but
the base content is the same and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and these were some of the performance with and without the DRM essentially. So within it, and what they're saying is we kind of know, like, the Denuvo is not the best, but it's for most people, it's a minimal impact on actually performance and stuff like that for the most part.
With some games, I think it's a game by game basis, but
and then they gave a more I don't know how well this can, because obviously like Steam had its own stuff for like the minimum recommended steps and stuff like that. But if you want to play it very high, 40K, 60 FPS. You need at least an i5 8400, AMD or Ryzen 5 3600X, 3080 or a RX 7900. I can't speak. Obviously, same RAM, same storage. It's going to be SSD essentially, and then at least a Windows 10. So
Yeah.
in theory, as long as you have a display, you should be able to run this at 4K.
Yeah, it's pretty good on the CPU side there for the 4K.
Yeah, this was obviously posted via Stellar Blade's Twitter account. So if you want to go over there and track a lot of this while it's going on, I just saw that while we were reading the other thing. So I was like, oh, okay, this is a quick little update.
Yeah, for sure.
I wanted to bring it just because I know we were talking about it, and so they're trying to resolve obviously the issue, but it's Sony's decision ultimately. So.
Yes, next one's next news article we got is pretty interesting. So Bungie confirms that Marathon uses unauthorized artwork and is undertaking review of in-game assets. Developer vowed to do right by the artist in question, but yeah, we had actual tweet.
So essentially, Bungie tried to just steal art. They got caught, and now they're trying to backtrack with PR and be like, "Oh,
yeah, like this is they did this in Destiny as well."
This is an accident. We know what happened. We know we got caught, and we're gonna BS it, and hopefully everyone forgets about it. Like, let's be real.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't believe this was an accident. This was 100% intentional, and they got caught.
Second time that this happened, they did it with Destiny too. There was stolen artwork for that. So I mean, like, it's obviously there's a problem.
There is a track record because they say like what the lead artist or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know, because I was listening to something else earlier in the day where it's like, oh yeah, this dude follows this artist, so it's like we don't care who you're trying to throw under the bus or this person's not here anymore. Like, you follow this artist, like you're getting we know you just jacked this art.
So they follow the artist, like you can.
I believe I don't know if it's going to be in this article, but I was listening to something that the lead designer, lead artist, something like that, somebody high up followed the artist that made the art that was stolen. I just don't have any of the stuff pulled up. I don't remember if it was Asman or somebody else I was listening to. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was like that's what they were talking about. Like, oh yeah, that's essentially, we know you just jacked it and you didn't think you were going to get caught.
That's crazy. The artist Antriel pointed out the use of our artwork in the game on social media while tagging in the developer and franchise art director Joseph Cross. The artist said, Bungie is, of course, not obligated to hire me when making a game that draws overwhelmingly from the same design language I have refined for the last decade. But clearly my work was good enough to pillage for ideas and plaster all over their game without pay or attribution. In 10 years, I've never made a consistent income from this work, and I'm tired of designers from huge companies mood boarding and parroticizing my designs while I struggle to make a living. So, I don't know. That's interesting. Yeah, Bungie, don't steal artwork.
Oh, it's a parasiting essentially. Okay. I don't know if that's what you're trying to say. I had to pull it up.
Yeah, I looked.
It was bugging me. I was like, what's going on?
Sorry, my bad.
Essentially, they were ripping off this artist's artwork essentially and just using it, thinking they could get away with it.
They said, as a matter of policy, we do not use the work of artists without their permission. The account said
you legally can't. It doesn't matter if it's your policy. There's laws that you can't just steal artwork.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But you're big. You thought nobody would notice. You thought you could get away with it.
I mean, they probably could have got away.
I'm never going to give any major company the benefit of the doubt when it comes to stuff like this.
No, for sure.
I'm going to assume you knew what you were doing intentionally, even if it came out that you didn't actually know, or it's like one person. Like, I don't give these major studios the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, this is the third time this has happened. In 2023, artists pointed out the similarities between the artwork and a piece that appeared in Destiny 2 cutscene. 2021 fan art was used in a trailer, which Bungie again resolved after reaching out to the artist in question. So,
well, what is it? Saying once is by chance, twice is a coincidence, and 3 times a pattern.
Yeah,
like that's the saying. I had to pull it real quick because I'm like, that's like there's an actual saying that goes along with this.
By the way, this game looks like absolute dog crap to me.
I think everyone was dunking on it.
It does not look good. I'm sorry.
It looks like a more sanitized version of what Destiny 2 was. I don't think this is not the Bungie that made Halo. This is not the same studio. They don't have the same.
I didn't even like Destiny. I know people like Destiny a lot, especially 1, right?
The more I played it,
I just
The
didn't care about.
more I liked Destiny 1, and I to some degree, Destiny 2 at launch felt more like an expansion, if anything else. But the problem is I didn't like the fact they started removing content in Destiny 2 and recycling, because like it's not the same game and you can't play all the content now. I didn't care for it for some of the decisions, and that's about the time I just forever dropped the game and never even bothered to go back to it.
I mean, I put more time in the Destiny 1. Destiny, I just didn't care. I didn't care. What wasn't Halo? Because like I don't know if you remember like the build up to Destiny 1, but like people, I mean, it was
because it was like the next big thing after Halo 3 that they worked on.
Yeah, it was like a big deal because I mean, Halo 1 through 3.
Well, because at that point they had a track record of success making really good games.
Yeah,
and I think Destiny 1 was still decent, but the problem is the more time goes on, people leave and they downsize and rehire, and it's by the time you get Destiny 2, like it's not the same studio that made Halo. Like everyone that worked on these games is essentially moved on to do other crap. It's the problem that I think a lot of these Western studios have is there's no continuity between games.
right.
You just hire and fire after every game, essentially. Where
I mean,
you see a lot more in the Eastern studios where they don't do that. They value a level of continuity, which at least at the managerial level, the game director level, the higher level, if you have that continuity, there's a level of consistency game after game. Even if the just the grunt work essentially is done by different people, if you have some level of continuity of people that are actually making decisions creatively, artistically, in the writing and stuff like that, you'll have some consistency in your game in your studio.
It makes
sense. I think it's a big problem. They hire and fire randomly, and then there's no continuity. So between game to game, it's like, well, yeah, it's the same studio, but it's not the same people.
It's not the same people. Yeah, I mean, you look at Japanese studios, and you've got people that have been working there 30, 40 years, and work there their entire life.
Obviously, the biggest one is like Nintendo, just because they're the immediate and the recognizable faces. But the fact that you've got people that were there in the 80s still working there now, the people that started out like the Mario games and the Zelda and stuff like that, and Metroid, like those same original creators still there. That's why these games have such good continuity.
Yep.
I mean, some are going to be good, some are going to be not as good. Looking at you, Skyward Sword, but there is a level of continuity with the same creators there, even if they try something else and it doesn't work. And then the big issue after that, because I think we've talked about in the past, is you eventually have to move on to new blood and new creators and stuff like that. But if you have a hard level of consistency at the top for several games for several decades, you can have a consistency as far as the type of quality you can expect out of a game. Not every game might be this great game. They might try something new that just doesn't work out. But you have people there you can trust. So you can put your faith in the studio because you've got this lead director, or this producer that's there that has the reins on it game after game. Or with Bungie or with the I don't know, ID Software, Bethesda, you don't have that.
Right. Yeah.
I guess for Bethesda Game Studios, you got Todd Howard, but he's more of like a figurehead at this point for their company than an actual lead designer.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. The game just looks dreadful to me, but I guess we'll see. Is the alpha out? Right?
I'm not sure.
I can't.
It's like we saw a trailer. I'm like, oh, this game looks terrible, and I'm just like, I haven't followed it since.
Yeah, the trailer looked terrible to me. Just did not look good. But we've also got Jade Raymond steps away from Haven Studios. So it says Jade Raymond has been an incredible partner and visionary force in founding Haven Studios. And obviously she's been around for a while, but founded Haven Studios in 2021. We are deeply grateful for her leadership and contributions, and we wish her the best in the next chapter.
So leave before your game comes out. That's like a weird thing to step away from a studio you made only like 4 years ago.
Yeah, she stepped away from another studio too. I'm trying to think of what the name was. EA Motive in 2018 that she was a co-founder for in 2015. So I don't know. She was at EA, Ubisoft. She worked on some of the early Assassin's Creed games in the original Watch Dogs at Ubisoft before moving on to EA, and then worked on the Google Stadia. That's not good.
Was a failed console.
Yeah. You want to call it a console? That's being,
It's just a streaming box.
Yeah. But yeah, so she's gone. There's that. I mean, there's not much for me to add there. Other than she's gone. I saw a lot of people tweeting about it though. I saw a lot of
I didn't even know who she was, so I haven't even heard the studio until like, a few hours ago. So
yeah. I threw this in here too just because I wanted to mention it. But if you're an Avatar The Last Airbender fan, Paramount delayed the Aang Avatar movie until October 2026. So I mean that could be a good thing, maybe.
That's the hope. I'm not going to give them the benefit of the doubt, but
that's being generous with saying that might be a good thing. I don't know. It's a little bit different with movies.
The last movie they did was a terrible movie. Ong the Airbender, like, bro, like there's a TV show of like what, so 60, 90 episodes. Like, how do you screw up these names?
I mean, the original
let's do all this stuff just to move a little pebble up. I'm like, oh my god, like
I don't know. That's one of the worst movies of all time. Like it's there with Dragon Ball Evolution. It's there with Dragon Ball Evolution. Like, I don't know which one's worse. They're both really bad. But
didn't Evolution reference airbending or something like that in the show?
I feel like oh god, did it?
I thought it did at one point.
It might have. Oh, I don't remember. It's been a long time since
I have to know because it's such a bad movie.
Just dreadful, absolutely dreadful. People try to forget this. But I mean, like,
I can't find like an immediate clip on it, but I thought they did to something like that.
It might have.
It was a bad movie.
Might have. But this is second delay, so that's not good news,
Yeah, I mean, it could be a death knell for a lot of these movies, but I mean, M. Night Shyamalan's not working on it, so it can't be absolutely terrible. His movies are absolutely amazing, or they're terrible.
Yeah, yeah.
They got Mark Wahlberg acting one of his worst movies. What? No. You know what I'm talking about, right?
You're watching you ever watch the Village one about the killer pigs?
I don't think I did.
I'm not particularly a fan of him. There's like a couple of movies that I sort of like The Lady in the Water. But I've never been like Signs. I don't know. There's a couple movies that are I kind of like, but he's like I always put him as like a weirdo director because he does weird off the wall stuff that I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's okay. But I don't know if this is good or not. The original series to me, absolute The Happening.
Yeah, I had to bring it up.
What?
It's such a meme. It's so funny. I laugh. Like I have to hear this because it's such a that movie. It's not like the worst movie in the world, but it's got some of if you ever watched a lot of Mark Wahlberg movies, it's one of his worst acted movies. And it's not a good horror movie. It's it's the wind or it's the trees. I'm like, oh my god, it's so stupid.
That's what I'm saying. Like his movies are always like something stupid like that, where it's like something dumb is going on. There's it's got a meaning behind it or something. I don't know.
It's it's a really deep meaning. I'm like, bro, this is deep if you're 12. Like, come on.
Yeah.
There's not something. This reads like a fan fiction.
I don't think any of his movies are deep. They're pretend want to be deep, but they're not. I don't know.
No, because I had to pull it up. The Sixth Sense is a really good movie.
It's a good movie, but I think it's a pretty.
You could argue that was where he peaked.
I mean,
his one really good movie. That or it was just carried by Bruce Willis. I don't know.
Even that movie, I feel like is kind of.
I don't know. Because I don't remember a whole lot about it. Do you think was Signs a good movie? It's one of the major one I can think of.
I feel like that was probably his peak, but even that movie, I feel like watching it, I've watched it in recent years and I'm just the movie's not great.
Yeah, because then 2008 you had The Happening, which was not a good movie. Then After Earth, which was a god awful movie.
That was really bad. It was really
And
bad.
nothing he's done it because he's done other movies ever since. But like I didn't even know they were like movies because you had what The Visit in
The Lady in
2015.
the Water, I think, is the best movie in my opinion, but
Yeah, you had what The Visit in 15, Split in 2016, Glass 2019,
Glasses.
Old in 2021, and Knock at the Cabin. Like I didn't know these movies like existed. I guess he had Trap that came out last year. I don't
Game
know.
Frank said can't be
He
worse than
dropped off.
Tusk. Yeah,
What was
Tusk
that?
Game Frank said it can't be worse than Tusk. Tusk was really bad, Kevin Smith movie.
I don't even know what that is, so it's probably a good thing.
Look it up. You should look it up. We don't need to show nothing about it, but
I mean, if the actual poster for it,
yeah,
it
it's
looked
legit.
terrible.
It's legit. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
What's the
But
review? Because I have to know what it is on Rotten Tomatoes. It's got a critical score of 46 and an audience score of 36.
it's really bad.
That's how you
Yeah,
know it's a bad
he
movie.
said, "Look it up. Don't watch it." Yeah, don't. It's
Nah,
not.
the review's enough for me to know. Like, nah, I'm good.
But we got Doom: The Dark Ages obviously launched. So came out yesterday. But Mark pointed out. You want to go over this chart?
Yeah, so obviously the game's on. It's across the board, but a lot of people were looking at because SteamDB is like one of the few places you can actually get reliable information for how well a game's doing. And the game's at what it peaked yesterday at, just shy of 31,000 players. It's sitting just shy of 25,000 players on Steam right now. And obviously, it's also on Game Pass, which is going to eat up a decent amount of people. But obviously, there's been other games like Expedition 33 that we talked about, as well as Oblivion, that they're on Game Pass, but there's also games that do really well on Steam. So it's like
Yeah.
a percentage by volume. The more people that play, it's gonna bump it up. But it's one of those things where it's just like it's lower than what you would expect. Obviously, it's not terrible. People are gonna play on a Game Pass. The game is on consoles, so I think this game's gonna make money. It's just you would expect it to be doing better, at least on the Steam side. And obviously, we don't have a lot of these other numbers and stuff like that. And I think this game's gonna do well. It's gonna make money and stuff like that. But um, it
I
wasn't
think
doing what the I can't remember the other Doom game that came out. Not 2016. The other one. I'm
Eternal.
blanking on the name.
Doom
Yeah, Doom
Eternal.
Eternal. Sorry, but I mean, people rightfully noticed that game was only on Steam at launch. It wasn't on Game Pass, so obviously it
Yeah.
was going to have higher numbers with the Steam charts. It's just you would just expect these numbers to be a little higher, but it's not like it's doing terrible. Like 30 for most games, 30,000 players on Steam's not a terrible number, especially since it falls under Bethesda. And I highly doubt. I would hope they didn't spend like $200 million on this game, where it would need really, really high numbers and stuff like that. This game's probably going to sell at least 2 million copies, if you had to ask me.
Yeah.
I think this game will break at least 1 million this weekend, and probably another million next
They,
week and
they
stuff like
definitely
that.
spent a lot of money on the game. I can tell you that by
Yeah,
playing it. They spent a lot of money on it. I don't know how much or anything. Like, there's no numbers out there, but um,
but I
what
mean,
year
I've
did
heard everyone that's played this game has said it's a good game. Obviously,
it's
there
fantastic.
are most of the Steam reviews I saw were negative, weren't about the game. It was about ray tracing, some of the performance issues on
Yeah, I do
PCs
know.
and stuff.
I
But
do need
because
to point out.
it's in at an 87% with 9,000 reviews on Steam. So it's a well reviewed game. It's just people expected this game to have higher numbers, but we're not going to know hard numbers and stuff like that. And it's on Game Pass and every other console. So
Yeah.
we'll know how well this is doing when they come out and say, "Hey, we made this many." When they officially say their actual sales numbers and stuff like that. But I expect this game to by the end of this by about a month it hit like what 2-3 million copies, and that's going to be probably decent. I assume they expect this game to sell probably at least 5 million lifetime, if I had to guess.
I was looking up because obviously we can't give any numbers on this, but basically a little more than a year ago, Game Pass was sitting at 34 million subscribers. So February 2024. I assume that there are probably a lot of people playing on Game Pass.
Well, this
Obviously,
is
that's
a
tough
this
to
is a
be on
Microsoft
PC.
owned game and stuff like that. And let's be fair, if it's on Game Pass, there's probably either a set percentage of people that play it, or just a guaranteed set number of
Yeah,
money that the studio's going to get anyways. I don't expect anything to happen to the studio. Like
yeah,
I expect this game to make money because I assume this game's probably sitting closer around $100 million mark and stuff like that, which you probably hit 2 million copies, you're breaking even and stuff like that, or you're in the green at that point. So,
and it's obviously it's cross platform. You know,
it's a game. You had early
content.
access. The game just launched, and the only noticeable thing to talk about that I saw on social media was, oh, the Steam charts are not as high as we thought they would be, and that's like the only thing, because everybody else that's actually talking about the game, that's played it, that had the chance to play it, heard nothing but great things about the game. So I expect this game to do well. Like, the first two were good. The only real issue with this is that Mick Gordon isn't here. That's like the one big issue with the game. But outside of that, I've heard nothing but positive things about the game.
I do know that Moist Critical is like having like big problems with getting Doom to run. Like, there's been some people that have had problems with getting Doom to run.
That's the only negative that I heard about the game, was some performance. But most people that are playing it don't have a problem, and I assume it runs just fine on console. It's probably more of a PC issue because they require ray tracing. So
yeah. So I mean, so far what I played, I think I'm 6 levels in or something like that. It's really good. I will say this is probably a hot take, because I know it like scored really well, and I'm a big Doom fan. I love these games. You know, going way back with Doom, but I feel like I haven't gotten in the giant mech yet. I haven't gotten to that yet. I'm assuming it's next because I just got into the dragon, but like,
yeah,
the dragon's really gimmicky. And like there's like, and
like it's a really scripted thing.
I did get into the mech. I'm an idiot. Hold on. I did get into the mech. Sorry. The mech was first, but it was like very brief because I think it was for one level, and like a really short level. But that was really gimmicky too. And it just felt like kind of tacked on, if that makes any sense. Like, it just felt like one of those things where it was just like, it didn't feel like it really sat well being.
Is it one of those that they added it after the fact, or it's just kind of like a gimmick they used to get people in the game, or it just wasn't? It was just like it
just doesn't.
It was designed for this one very specific stage, and
that's what it felt like. Yes, that's what it felt like. So it felt like it was going to be one of those things where it's like, okay, you're in like 3 normal stages, then you get into a stage with, you know, where you're flying in the dragon, and then it didn't feel like the way that it was kind of advertised. That's just how I feel so far. But yeah, I mean, I played through a long stage just a little bit ago, or not a little bit ago, this morning, before work, and it was flying in the dragon, and it just felt like kind of I don't know, kind of lame a little bit. I guess
not what you wanted. You wanted a little bit more control, but it's just like a set piece is really all it is.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. I mean, I get, you know, we'll see what comes with that. But other than that, like the standard game itself, really good. I mean, it is really good. So I guess we'll see that. That's just my opinion so far with it. But what we got next? We got Borderlands 4 removing the mini map.
Yeah, so it was we got some information. Essentially, is the more the game comes out in a few months and stuff like that, we get more information. They essentially replaced the mini map with a with like the top bud HUD at the bar, where it's like the map scroll thing, essentially. Kind of like what you'd expect in like a Skyrim kind of thing is what I saw. From what they said, the way the traditional mini map wouldn't work with the way they were doing the map design, with a lot of verticality and a lot of different things. From what they came out and said, at least what Randy Pitchford came out and said, it just didn't fit with what they were trying to do and stuff like that, as well as, you know, especially with like friends can transport right to you and stuff like that. It's just like they wanted, and I could see the benefit of trying to push exploration instead of just using a map to get from point A to point B, essentially, which having a mini map you kind of tend to do. You kind of use that instead of just exploring an actual map. If you want to encourage people to organically explore a world, you get rid of a mini map that you can constantly just use to just follow, essentially. So I can see the pros and cons of that.
Can I say something? I've never really liked that scroll wheel concept necessarily. Like, even with Elder Scrolls and stuff, I don't love it, like versus a mini map. But I get the concept.
Some designs, like if you're trying to either push exploration or if you're designing a very leveled verticality leveled world and stuff like that, it becomes harder, and you got to put more effort into designing a mini map. So I can see how
it takes more effort.
It's not the worst thing, because when Borderlands 1 originally didn't have any mini map until it was Game of the Year edition. 2 and 3 had it, but like most of those worlds are very flat worlds. There you would go up, but the map was generally flat and spread out. So if you're trying to be more condensed, be more verticality, it would cause issues with an actual map, especially like, am I too high? Am I too low? Where exactly am I going? And stuff like that. Or if you generally want, like a lot of Elder Scrolls games, you want to force exploration, you just get rid of the map and something. You give a different way to know whether you're going, but you get rid of a mini map to force the players to properly explore the map. Which I don't think is the worst thing in the world.
No, I'm a lot less excited about this game after playing the Tiny
This would have zero impact. The impact with this is, one, I don't like Randy Pitchford, and Borderlands 3 still left a very sour taste in my mouth, and I just wasn't sold with the trailer. This is a game, so it's like I will wait and see.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna pre-order it. I'm not pre-ordering it, whatever special edition. I made that mistake with 3, and I'm just like, you're gonna have to prove to me that you deserve my money for this game. Because with the Borderlands 3, outside of the DLC, I thought it was a lackluster game. Combat's great, but I didn't like the story and
it's like one of those things
world design.
We talked about it probably 100 times. Gameplay is probably peak for gameplay,
but I still rather go back and play 2 than 3.
Yeah,
and it's got subpar gameplay. I just think it's a better and funner, fuller experience, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just a story.
And then obviously new Tales of the Borderlands. I'm like, okay, you all can't write for crap. I mean, it's a terribly written game. It's not Tales, which was done by a completely different studio.
Yeah,
you all wrote this game, and this was terrible. I have zero faith in this game. You're gonna have to like prove me wrong, or else I'm just not gonna buy this game, which is disappointing because Borderlands 1, 2. I've come around on the pre-sequel. I don't necessarily care for the gameplay as much as that game, but I really like the story in the game and stuff like that. And then Tales are all really, really fun games to go through and play. And it was really around 3 where I'm like, oh, this is not the funnest game to come back and replay.
Yeah,
but I mean that's just my opinion.
Game Freak said 2 was peak story, 3 peak gameplay. I agree with that. That's where I'm at with it. 2 is peak story, 3 peak gameplay.
1 is kind of iconic, and I do like going back and playing it. The benefit of 1, with it being kind of, I don't want to say archaic, but really bare bones, is it's not a long. You can beat the game in like 10 hours. Like it's not a very long game to get through at all. And then the only issue with the DLC is the way those maps are designed. The fast travel doesn't exist, so it's kind of a pain. But like the base game of 1 is extremely short, especially compared to 2, pre-sequel, 3, and stuff like that. It's a very quick game to get through.
Yeah, for sure. We've also got Pokemon releases official replica of Penny's Eevee backpack. Well, that's interesting.
This doesn't actually $500. There's been a surprising lot of Pokemon merch recently, which I guess they're trying to like maintain hype for it.
I mean, I'm not surprised at all. Pokemon's just like explode. It's the #1 IP in the world, bro.
Yeah, so this is it's just the Eevee backpack essentially, and I guess you could wear it like she does in the game, which I assume is not the most comfortable way to carry a backpack.
I love how
to me it looks like
the model.
I wear a backpack like you do. It goes over the shoulders, and I wear it because I need to store extra stuff I don't want to carry around. But I wear a backpack.
Wear it fancy, or you could do like how we always do like the one shoulder with the backpack. It's cool, walking around.
I don't do that anymore. You think I'm trying to?
I don't do it. I don't do it anymore, but I definitely did it.
I do it if I'm carrying something for like a short amount of time or something like that. But
but otherwise, I just put the backpack on now.
It's not the worst. It's not like I wouldn't be caught dead wearing this, obviously. But like if you had like a kid or a daughter or something like that, or a girlfriend who liked it or something,
you wouldn't wear this,
Mark? That makes sense. It's very obvious. It's a feminine backpack.
You wouldn't wear this to work.
Absolutely not. I would be made fun of. I'm sure a few slurs would be hurled at me. I'm just stating the fact.
Yeah.
I know the people that I work with and what they would say.
Yeah. That one's not. It's gonna be a no for me.
To be fair, just to clarify, so nobody says anything, it's obviously all in good fun, but maybe I said a little bit harsh, but I know what would be said at work, which isn't very is not politically correct at all.
We also got Pokemon Fossil Museum is coming to the US. I saw this earlier. This is kind of a neat concept. US Pokemon fans can visit the Pokemon Fossil Museum in May 2026 at Chicago's Field Museum. Museum will feature life-size replicas of Pokemon skeletons compared to real fossils. The exhibit aims to educate fans about paleontology through Pokemon with a varied collection on display. I think it's a pretty interesting concept, actually. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think if you're trying to get people into the paleontology, even archaeology to a lot of extent, stuff like that, because they always have fossil Pokemon like to every game essentially since Gen 1 and stuff like that.
Yep.
It's you got a very popular good IP that pull people in, and then just use this IP to then transition to a form of education is a very smart thing to do and stuff like that, especially if you have some kind of hands-on stuff, because a lot of their fossil Pokemon take inspiration from the real world. I think they all do to some degree. So it's a really good thing.
I think it's a cool concept. I saw one article that actually showed the concept of like Charizard next to a T-Rex, like the bones. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was like, that's actually I like that idea.
And it's very obvious Charizard was somewhat inspired by I know we got like an actual T-Rex fossil Pokemon, but Charizard is very like a traditional, what is a Western dragon, which is more like a wyvern, inspired stuff like that. Where the Eastern dragon's like an actual dragon. If you care about these fantasy classifications for dragons and stuff like that,
for sure. Yeah, I think it's a pretty cool concept. So, well,
I mean, I wouldn't go to Chicago. I'm not trying to get shot, but I think it's an interesting thing.
Yeah, Chicago. I mean, like
sorry, I didn't mean to swear there. I meant to say shots fired.
To be fair, I mean, like I went to Chicago last year, 2023, and it's a little sketchy, like it's a little bit sketchy. You gotta be careful.
I think I was still in high school last time. I've only been to Chicago once, and it was like the big tourist downtown.
I went.
It was like 10, 15 years ago at this point.
Pretty much in one area, because I was at a convention, but I mean, it was, it was interesting. So, what's the gods?
It's okay. Don't worry. Eventually, it'll just be, West Ohio. So, all in due time.
Yeah, I saw that. Ohio was one of the worst rated states in the U.S., but it was like
I saw that, and a lot of people from Ohio got real butthurt about it. I just laughed. I was like, I left the state for a reason,
but I mean, like my take on it was like it seemed to be that a lot of because like let's see who else was on. I was just trying to think of I think was it Utah that was the number one worst. Might have been Utah. I forget.
I mean, I could see Utah for very different reasons, but I don't know.
I've never been in Utah, so I don't know. Wyoming was low on there.
I mean, Utah's great if you don't mind the hot, dry heat, a lot of desert and stuff like that.
Yeah,
a lot of terrible drivers in Utah. And that's not throwing shade. That's just a fact. Utah drivers are terrible. I hate them.
Oh my gosh. All right, we got Steam debunks reported data breach. I heard about this. Mark, what do you know a little bit? I just heard about it.
So essentially, there was a report that was like, "Oh, go change your password." Like there's a lot like a big leak, but essentially, Steam came out and says its breach was affecting the SMS text messages sent to customers. They say no systems were actually breached outside of the actual reports and stuff like that. And they came out pretty quickly within a day and saying no, your account information was not at risk essentially. So like if you want to go and change your password, obviously you should be changing your password every, I don't know what, X amount of months and stuff like that is like generally good practice. But especially if you have two-factor authentication and stuff like that, like you especially with that, it should not be at risk. But I mean, obviously it's not the worst thing. Like
I gotta be honest,
6 months you should probably be changing your passwords anyways.
Steam is like the most annoying one to log into with stuff. Like
not really. Well, the thing is because the Steam Guard requires you to have the app download the Steam app on your phone for the two-factor.
That's why I say it's kind of annoying. But like, I mean, it's a good thing. Obviously,
I never log out of Steam, so it's not really a problem for me.
On my so when I go to like claim games that are like free, where I see like tweets about and stuff like that, it's just kind of annoying like on my phone if I'm like gone or something, and I don't know, it's kind of aggravating a little bit. But Steam Guard,
people like Steam mainly because of the Steam focuses on the user experience, they don't focus on the developers and stuff like that. Outside like the whole free game that some of these other platforms use, which feels more of like a way to just get you to use their platform. The way Steam's designed, the way Steam operates is very clearly they think of the user experience first and foremost for the most part, and then everything else is kind of secondary and stuff like that, which I think is a really good practice. It's why they've dominated the PC space for what, like 2 decades at this point.
You're saying Epic's not great?
It's a terrible platform. If you use Steam and then you look at Epic, it's night and day. Epic does not care about the end user experience. Steam actually cares.
All right. Well, you heard it from Mark here.
That's just a fact. Like everyone knows that. I mean, you can use both platforms. They're both on PC, but one obviously actually caters, and that there's a reason Steam is like the number one platform.
All right, Steam rules out everybody else.
I mean, it does. It's not even close.
Yeah, no, Steam's great.
Outside of your DRM and stuff like that, it's not. It's just a really good platform.
DRM does suck. Not gonna lie.
It's negligible at the end of the day as far as the performance side of it. I know some people complain, say it has all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, 10 years ago it had a significant impact. Now it's for most people it's negligible as far as the performance drop you're going to see on average.
Yeah,
because I game all the time and stuff like that. And I don't see the issue. It's usually hard. Like for most people, hardware, your actual hardware is going to have a bigger impact on the way you have your settings set up than DRM and stuff like that. And there's different types of it, but yeah, whatever. It is what it is. I was like, I'm rambling at this point. I need to stop talking about it. But apparently, if you live in the UK, there's a summer promotion for Pokemon cards featuring Dragon type Pokemon like Charizard. They say the US and Japan previously have had that and stuff like that, but this summer, I don't know if anybody here listening is from the UK. Maybe on one of the podcasts. But hey, if you'll be getting Pokemon in your Happy Meal and stuff like that at McDonald's. So
very rough to get those. The scalpers will be all over those. You know what's crazy? The last McDonald's promotion we had, I think did I send you stuff about it where people were selling.
I think you did.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like, what is the problem? Like, it's making me. I just got back into the hobby like recently. I got back in the wrong time, didn't I?
I mean, I only beat you by like a few months, by like a year, and I haven't bought cards in months at this point because I can't find them, and I'm not gonna pay over MSRP, and I'm not gonna like they're getting restocked. Let me get there right away. I'm like, no, I'm just not gonna do that.
Never pay over MSRP. That's just stupid.
If I can't just walk into a store and see it and buy it, I'm just not gonna buy it. If it's that hard to come by, it's just like, yeah, well, it sucks, but I'm not gonna buy your product.
Yeah, I mean it's unfortunate. I will say this:
once it's back in stock and it's not an issue, then I'll start buying them again.
I see stuff go up all the time on Amazon. Like I even got the Charizard boxes I had back there below MSRP. So like deals do come up, but as far as like going in the store, you can't. I even told you they do the restocks on Friday. I walked in, like they're all gone. I mean, all they have left are the crap.
Everyone just calls. They figure out. They know when they're going to restock and what day, the time, and they just wait.
It's like I feel bad for like the kids and that are into the hobby. It's like can't even, you know what I mean? Like when we were kids, it wasn't a problem at all. And it's like
I wasn't that big into Pokemon cards as a kid. Like I had them, but it wasn't like something. Then again, my parents didn't have the money to buy them anyways. So
yeah, I mean, I only got them for like birthdays and Christmas and stuff. But I really enjoyed them as a kid. I thought they were great. I like Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff too. But it's not the same thing anymore. It's unfortunate. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna come out and say it. The adults now that any of the stuff that they care about as kid like ruin the hobbies for like everybody else.
Because people will see it as a quick way to make money because cards go for X amount of dollars.
Like you see like the Disney adults that like ruin the park for everybody else and stuff.
This might sound mean. When I see Disney adult, I'm like, that's so kind of quasi pathetic. Like I like some other stuff and I like games and hobbies and stuff like that, but like I'm not gonna like dress around and make that like my whole personality.
I mean that's a thing. They kind of do, and it's so many of these hobbies are ruined for like I really do think
like you can tell like
it got into the Pokemon cards now. She likes opening them up, so that's why I started really getting them again, especially the packs. We really like the journey together. Couldn't get any more packs. I've tried for the last 2 weeks, and it's like, I mean, what am I even stopping at the store for at this point? I can't get any of those, and like the single packs. Like she really likes the single packs for some reason, but I don't know.
Because the way I kind of see it and stuff like that, it's like you can enjoy this hobby, but it's obviously like it has a target audience that's clearly for kids and stuff like that. And I see the other thing. I'm like, what's like a better way to stay in a hobby than to like do the hobby like with your kids or something like that and stuff like that? Because
Yeah,
then
it's
you
great.
can enjoy the experience. Like most people I know, like if they have hobbies, they share it with their kids, and that's how they stay enjoyed with it, and they just kind of pass it along
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And then there's other stuff that you're into as well and stuff like that. So
I mean, that's
that's the way I kind of look at it.
yeah, it really is unfortunate for the kids with some of this stuff because like it's just impossible. Like you just can't if you can't even do it as an adult. Like trying to be a kid with no money to trying to do it. You know what
And
I
this
mean?
isn't like the peak of like Pokemon Mania in like the 90s and early 2000s where
I
like
know,
Pokemon Mania was like at it. It was like fever pitched.
but and even then you could just walk into the store and buy the game
Yeah.
or buy the
Well,
card.
I think the cards had the monetary value that they do today.
They didn't
But the
at the
people that
time,
grew
but
up with it got older, they got money, and then all of a
it's
sudden, I really want this card. They're hard to come by. People just start
but Mark,
jacking up the
it's like
price, and yeah.
everything has that monetary value now. Like all the stuff. You look at the retro gaming, like we talked about it 150
Because you grew
times.
up with it, you don't have it anymore. You want to get back into it, but some people want to get back into it because they see they can
Make some
flip it
money.
for make some money off of it on the people that want to just go back and enjoy something from their childhood, essentially.
Right, like it's not even just
Because let's be fair, a lot of these
Pokemon, like, I
hobbies,
guess
it's going to
Magic
spike
is
and then it's
problem,
going to
and
go back down. It's going to spike and it's going to go up and down. A lot of this is still residual from 2020 as well. So
unfortunately, yeah. I mean, I feel like all the hobbies got ruined around then because, yeah, I don't even know. We're under a tornado watch though. That's fun.
Brandon just randomly disconnects. He just got swallowed by a
Yeah, I
tornado.
just wanted to bring it up because it's like, just in case anything happens here. But we got Rust has some bad news for PS4 and Xbox One gamers. They're still playing on those old things. You know what I
So
mean?
essentially, they're
Just
delisting it
kidding,
at
by the
the
way.
end of this month from PS4 and Xbox One, and they're essentially upgrading it. They're having an upgrade this summer to PS5 and Xbox, the Series X or whatever series they're
Okay,
on now or something like that. So essentially, because they use it's server based, they just want to hard upgrade it, which means it's leaving these older consoles because they want the better performance, but they don't want to have to deal
gotcha.
with both sides of it. Kind of like
Have you
what I picked up on when I first saw this.
have you played this game?
Not in like a year and a half, 2 years, but I've only ever played it on PC.
Okay. What's this game about? Because I've heard some people
It's
talk
a
about it, but I don't.
PvP base building game essentially.
So is this like
Usually, most
Ark
servers
Girl?
are up for a week to about a month before they reset, and it's just you hop in and it's just PvP. You build a base and you attack other players, get resources to upgrade your base and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then the servers reset. It's essentially it plays the same as Ark. Essentially, if you ever
Okay,
played that
that's what
game,
I was wondering.
they're
I
both
thought it was like
PvP.
Ark, but
They're PvP, PvE, depending on the map, base building games, but it's not like a permanent thing. It's like depending on the server. Most servers reset like every month, essentially.
hey, shout out to DDS Dave in here with us. What's up,
Hey,
man?
what's up?
Don't know what we're streaming tomorrow or anything yet. I'm hoping so far I've gotten really lucky with the PC stuff because I haven't no issues tonight. But
Yeah,
now we
right.
got tornado to watch. But
But he's the developers came out and pretty much said, as you know, we are releasing a new version of Rust Console Edition for PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. So starting May 29th, the old gen version of the game will no longer be available in platform stores. If you already own it, you can keep playing until the final wipe, which will wrap up in October. We're planning to make that one something special. Players will have until the end of October to transition to the new and improved version of the Rust Console Edition, which is expected to launch sometime in this summer. Just to be clear, the release date is not May 29th, 2025. We still need a bit more time. More will be announced at a future date. So essentially they want really just one console version as far as the development team, but they obviously want to take advantage of the better hardware and stuff like that. So they're going to just end support for old consoles so they can just focus on one version of the game.
and one way this like sucks for players because I'm assuming it's probably is a massive
But like let's be fair, like the next gen consoles have been out for like what 4 years now, which is a decent amount of time to support into 5 years now into the next life cycle. So at this point it's like it eventually hit that point of like it's time to upgrade.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, like in one way, like you said, it does suck for those players that are playing on that. But then the other, like PS6 and stuff's right around the corner. Like we're like,
and you have the
2 years
behind the
from
scenes
that.
development stuff. They want to take advantage of the hardware on the new stuff. They don't want to deal with multiple versions that are eventually obviously not
'Cause, I
compatible.
mean,
So it's
in like 2 years, if this is I would assume would go on the next consoles, right? It's probably a pretty big game. Then
They're giving you about essentially
versions,
they're giving you a 5-month window to upgrade essentially.
Yeah.
So they're giving you plenty of time. So you have till the end of the month to get the game if you haven't yet. And then you've got 5 months to get a new console or just to continue to enjoy it until it kind of goes
I think it's fair. I mean, it makes sense, like, because the next console's around the corner. This game, I'm assuming, would be on that. 3 console versions and PC would be crazy, so.
I don't know how much money they make on this on console. Most people I see play this game usually play it on PC, but there's obviously a decent enough support on the console if they're supporting it. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean it sucks, but it's like an inevitability. Eventually, the old hardware eventually has to get phased out because it's like what 10, 15-year-old hardware at this point.
Yeah,
for the PS4. So eventually, you want to do stuff that the old hardware just can't handle.
For sure. What we got next?
Some Dragon Quest 12 rumors. Essentially, Yuji Horii had made some comments about the development. Essentially, he came out and said, Dragon Quest 12 is in full swing. So this game is coming. It's in development, but we don't really have a hard timeline because obviously, we just had the HD2D 3 come out, and then the 1 and 2 comes out later this year. I don't think we had a hard date. We just know it comes out sometime this year. So, and as far as like new games, I played the 3 HD2D, and I played the X or the Dragon Quest 10.
Yeah.
But I know there's been other games since. I've bought a few and just haven't got around to playing them.
It's a beautiful game. Oh my gosh. 11 is so like I can't even explain to you how good that game is. 11 has this really cool mode too where you can switch from a 3D game to a 2D game, which is crazy. Like it's the craziest thing, but you can do it like on the fly too, which is crazy. But I'm really excited about this game.
Yeah, so on Dragon Quest 12 is supposed to be called The Flames of Fate. That's what we know and stuff like that. And then Horii came out and says, putting a lot of work into it. I can only say that the next work will be great. Please look forward to it, is the only thing that I can say. And then I think this kind of goes back to one of the other things. You got the same developer that's like working on this game for forever. So you have like this continuity, which benefits. And if you had like a different director every like 2 games, or every new game was like a new director, you'd have very wildly different qualities of games, and it might not have made it 12 at this point.
I wonder if this, because we don't know what happened before and stuff. I wonder if this is going to be the first game without, because was Dragon Quest HD2D or Dragon Quest 3 HD2D, was that Akira's artwork in the? Do you know?
I mean,
because I was gonna say, is this the first game where we won't have Akira's artwork on the cover?
Did he work on these characters?
Yeah,
for Dragon Quest. I would assume because it's still
from
based
the
off
beginning.
It'd be based off his work.
Well, based off it, I'm saying he did all the artwork.
Did he actually? Did he actually do the work?
Yeah, he did the artwork. Yeah, since the first game. Yeah, he did.
I mean, it came out. The 3 came out just after he passed, essentially, if I remember. Because right around the time Daima came out as well.
Assuming he probably did that.
So I don't
know.
If you're within a year of the game coming out, a lot of the work's probably already done on the behind the scenes. So he probably did do a significant amount of work on 1 and 2, and obviously 3 was essentially done by the time he passed away. So,
wonder about the HD2D for 1 and 2. Yeah, I'd be
at the very least, if he had any hand in it, they were fairly well into development. These games are going to come out within a year of him passing.
Yeah,
probably the bulk of the artwork was already done, if I had to guess. Because usually at that point, it's all you're working on, finishing up the game, fixing bugs, finalizing, behind the scenes mechanics and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's some world design and stuff like that, and some mechanics and stuff like that. Usually near the end of the game, that wouldn't be done. But
because those cover arts are super iconic for. Yeah, I was just curious if like he was actually doing it. I mean, they're obviously going to stick with the style, but yeah, kind of off topic. But I was just curious.
But hopefully, in the next like 2-3 years, we get 12 can come out. If not 2026, hopefully by 2027.
Yeah,
for sure. Hopefully, we get like some kind of like official trailer announcement sometime next year.
And then what's this we got about Sea of Thieves leaving Xbox Game Pass?
Is it the Sea of Thieves?
No,
it's not. I was about to say. I looked at this room like, what are you talking about? Like that's its own thing.
Yeah. No.
But there are 5 games that are leaving the Xbox Game Pass. I don't know if we got a hard date on that.
May 15th.
May 15th. All right, so it's like also they already left.
Oh, they left yesterday. Okay, so if you're watching live, they left yesterday. If you're listening to the podcast later,
Yeah. So the games that had just left were Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, Chanters of Sinar, Dune: Spice Wars, Hunti, and then The Big Con. Nothing like big and stuff like that, but the issue if you play on Game Pass,
Little Kitty Big City is pretty big.
Games go.
I mean, a lot of people love that game, from what I hear.
Yeah,
I am being serious with it too, by the way.
This guy.
Yeah, is the Tale of Two Sons? Is that one of those Isn't that one of those multiplayer games where you had to play the?
I'm not sure.
I can't remember.
To be honest.
Yeah, but yeah, those are already gone. So goodbye, I guess. I guess onto our bigger news that we'll kind of run through here. But
I guess before we got into it, do you want to do any pickups real quick or?
Oh yeah. Go ahead and grab yours. I gotta.
Okay, so I guess I got mine right here because it's been a few weeks since I found a Pokemon game, in town and stuff like that. I'm still looking out for Brandon. But there were, cause I was looking at some more older stuff, nothing new. So I was looking at some, I don't know if you want to call it retro, with the 2 3DS games. Just because why not? They always had a lot of games there. So these 2 they actually had a case for once. Ethrin, Odyssey Untold, the Millennium Girl. Don't know anything about these games. I know it had fairly decent reviews when I saw it online and stuff like that. It only had the defunct Nintendo Club stuff on the inside, no actual game case, but it had the game.
You can't give away that code, bro.
It doesn't work anymore.
Might be good in the future.
Nintendo Club, it's defunct.
Just kidding.
Whatever. And then the other game, which I know Brandon talked about, I saw it and stuff like that. Was Rune Factory 4. I know it came out on the Switch, but it actually had the DS version. So I was like, I'll just pick this up. I saw it as an Xseed game and had the case. I'm like, Xseed makes a lot of good. They publish a lot of good games.
Yeah. So it's a Harvest Moon / RPG game.
Yeah. So, this one actually not only had the case, it has the game on it, but I didn't realize it did this little. It used the holes in the case for little faces for the characters.
I love
that was a really neat thing. Back when they cared. So this one actually had the actual proper. And it's decent condition, the actual case and stuff like that, or the booklet. So I think I spent total $60 on these 2 games. Nothing big, but I was like, let me pick something up. Who knows? I might get around to actually playing these games one day. They just won't sit on a shelf.
Do you have anything else?
No, it was just those 2 things that I picked up.
Okay, I just got a couple things myself. I showed this off a few weeks ago. This Evercade game that I got. I finally got something to play it on. This wasn't exactly what I wanted to play it on. I wanted to play it on the actual. They've got a full scale handheld, but this is a cheaper budget handheld. It's just what was in stock, and it actually went on sale. But this is the Capcom Edition Super Pocket. So it's got built-in games, but it also plays all the cartridges, so you can play all these Evercade carts on there. So it went on sale when I got it. I wanted to be able to play the cartridges. So it wasn't
fair enough.
I just don't like the way that I can show it on camera because I got it right here charged, but I just don't it's too small. It's a lot smaller than I thought it was gonna be. That's the problem with it. I'm already I was getting hand cramps right away. Let's turn up the volume. But here it is. It's just too small is the problem. And I was playing one of the building games. Yeah, I was playing Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting. Oh my god, the fighting on it was terrible. It was just it was too hard to the layout and everything, because it's kind of the layout of the Game Boy with 2 extra, an X and a Y button. But the cartridge though that I showed off a few weeks ago was really good. So yeah, that's cool. I got that. This just came today because it just came out today. That's Capcom Fighting Collection 2. I haven't even opened it yet, but it just came today. So nice. It's got Capcom versus SNK Millennium Pro, and then Capcom versus SNK 2, Capcom Fighting Evolution, Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper, Power Stone 1 and 2, Project Justice, and Plasma Sword. So the fact that it has Power Stone 1 and 2, like I would have bought those games by itself. I was really excited about this though. I will say that Capcom Fighting Evolution is a horrible fighting game though. I can't believe they put that on there. I guess if it there's a you hear that?
No, I didn't.
You know, okay. That was a loud one. It's storming. And then we just talked about all the SNK stuff, but I got a boxed Neo Geo controller, which is really cool.
Oh, nice.
Joystick controller. I'll show it off here. Still in the bubble, or not the bubble wrap, but in the plastic and everything, which is just, you know anything about that Neo Geo stuff? I think you know a little bit about. Oh my god, it's so expensive. But this came with the bundle so the guy didn't ship out all the stuff that came with the bundle that I had bought that I showed off a few weeks ago. But
yeah,
so he finally shipped out the rest of the stuff. I bought off eBay. He finally shipped out the rest of the stuff, like the actual power adapter. He sent out a cheap one. It came with it. I was like really frustrated. But anyway, he sent out. I didn't know. I thought that was just the box. Like even the box, just the box. When did you change my name to Chicken Butt?
Oh, like a minute ago.
Oh,
you had nothing there. I was like, oh, let me add something there. It's so funny.
But yeah, anyway, that was really cool. It had a controller in it. I didn't know it came with a controller. I thought it was just the box. Like even the box is like a big deal. You know what I mean? So especially
for some of those stuff. So you're like, even better, there's a controller here.
Yeah, I had no idea that there was a controller in it. So I was like absolutely shocked. So I was like, okay, this was worth the wait for the other stuff. Because the controllers, those are like $150, $200. The controllers loose by themselves are ridiculous. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I
was like, yeah, that's cool. And then I think it's all I got. Yeah, that's it for the pickups.
You know, I know it's crazy. It's not necessarily game related because you were talking about it storming yesterday. If you, I need to cool off your hot spring. If you're having it. I drove in the snow yesterday up on the. This is going through the UNM mountains, so I'm like at 85,000 feet. But I was like, that's crazy. It was only like a 5-mile stretch because it was only precipitating on the mountain range essentially. But I was like, bro, like who thought I'm driving through like mid-May and it's like snowing outside? I was like, that's crazy.
And like he sends that, I'm like, it's like 80 here, bro.
Like, I mean, it's been in the 40s and 50s for a few days out here, pretty windy. Getting down to the 30s overnight, but that's just like May is like the middle of spring for me right now for us out here.
Yeah, so. That's crazy. I was like, holy crap, snow.
I was like, who would have thought it's snowing in me? Like I get up on the mountain, so I'm a little bit higher up, but I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
Here, Brandon, let me send you some stuff because I know you're not like expecting to see snow this time of year.
I wasn't. No, I always look forward to the Mark Snow videos though, because you've been doing it for years now at this point. So like,
but I think earlier this week I was watching some videos because the Wide Dot posted some stuff. There's some, I don't remember which. I think it might have been the Bighorn Mountains. Because these are roads that just close for like half the year. That it's a way they don't have enough traffic. It's a waste of time to try to snow plow because the moment it's clean, it's completely snow covered again. So they don't even bother because they're out there still like plowing like feet of snow with those big snow blower stuff that they have on the roads. I was like, that's crazy. And I ended up driving in like, and you couldn't tell from that video, but some of those areas like at the peak of the elevation where I was at, it was coming down pretty hard in big flakes. Luckily, it had been too warm recently, so it was only sticking to the grass. It wasn't sticking on the road, but yeah, I think that's crazy.
That is crazy.
Most people don't get it. Most people don't see snow most of the year, anyways. They see it like maybe once if you're lucky. And I'm like, bro, it's May.
Yeah, no, that's wild.
Like I've seen it snow in May, and I've seen it snow in September at this point. Being out here, so I'm like, this is crazy.
That's hilarious. Oh my goodness.
Because I think it wasn't last year; it was the year before. Or it's been like a year and a half when I was in Yellowstone in September. It ended up snowing like late September when I was up at Yellowstone. So,
you ever watch that show, Yellowstone? Heard it's pretty good.
I know people that have. I haven't got around to watching it.
Heard it's pretty good. Okay, what do we got next? I was trying to get some images to show for something that's coming up.
No, you're good. So we got some obviously some more Nintendo stuff to talk about. Apparently there was an issue as far as the what they call an error with the Switch 2. So the Switch 2 will only support VR in handheld mode, not docked, which doesn't really surprise me all that much.
Can I just say something?
But their website claimed it supported on both. Essentially, I
Yeah.
don't know how this is going to support VRR, but
That kind of sucks for the dock mode because I think that's. I mean, I think it's pretty standard right now at this point. Like VRR is pretty standard. It was like
I
when
mean,
the Switch 5
unless
came out, like it didn't even launch with it. So this could be updated later, but that's only if they implement it in the console, right?
what best I could see that is if they're actually doing VR, it means the actual Switch itself will be the screen that you're using. They'll have probably something that they put it in. The Switch itself will support it, which means they're not going to create a whole different peripheral for it.
No, this is variable refresh rate.
VR. Oh, I thought it was a virtual reality. I was like, I could see that.
No.
Sorry, I misunderstood it. I don't know why I'm so fucking. The Switch could support VR. It's its own dock essentially. So I see VR. I think of virtual reality. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. There's an extra R there. So
I'm dyslexic apparently.
You thought the Switch 2 was going to support VR? Oh man, I don't know about that.
Why would I be wrong in thinking that? Like it's a perfect thing. It's the own thing. It's the perfect size. And why would it not support VR? It's really popular right now. Kind of quasi.
Oh my gosh. I thought you talked down on VR. Anyway, yeah, go full screen on me. No, this is good that the handheld stuff is good. It makes sense because it's got the built-in screen. So like if it wouldn't support VRR, kind of wouldn't make sense. Like it's got to be kind of synchronized with the screen, so that makes sense. The technology is working there. I guess here the one point I've seen brought up about this is the fact that it doesn't do 4K and 120 hertz at the same time. So it's one or the other. So I don't know. As far as my understanding of VRR, I could be wrong, but like if you're doing the 120 frames per second mode, to me, I thought from my understanding of the technology that would matter because that's like the fluctuation of the frame rate essentially, right? So the refresh rate. So that's kind of the fluctuation with it. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. But
I don't know
mean,
why
at
it would
least
only
it
be
came
in the
out.
dock mode, or it'd only be in handheld, unless it has to do something with the screen and stuff like that. So they don't want to dealing with different this type of displays and screens and TVs and stuff like that. So it's just either to just have it be a handheld mode, or it is a way to boost the handheld mode performance essentially.
Yeah. I guess we'll have to see. You know, they could eventually patch that down the road because the PS5 did not launch with VRR. If I remember correctly, it wasn't for a year and a half later that we got the VRR mode. So, I mean, they patched that into the PS5, didn't launch with it. Series X, I think, launched with VRR. If I remember correctly, I think it was that was one of the reasons. Like, it was also one of the things, you know, at the time, because the Series X before the PS5 Pro came out was technically the strongest console. But that was one of the things that people, you know, always threw into the equation. Oh, it's, you know, it supports VRR and PS5 doesn't and stuff like that. But, you know, I guess we'll see. They could patch it. Don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But in other Nintendo Switch 2 news,
yes, they also came out and actually gave us the actual hard specs that we know
for
the actual Switch and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they compared it with the Switch 2 on the left and the Switch 1. So the Switch 1 is using the NVIDIA Tegra X1 chip. The Switch 2 will be using NVIDIA T239, essentially. So it's using 8X ARM Cortex for the CPU architecture. I don't know a whole lot about the actual architecture part of it with CPU. Essentially, it's doing about the same as far as CPU clocks. It's got a different docked and mobile version, but it's running about the same, more or less. It's going from 1 core to 2 cores, essentially, with 6 available to developers. The architecture, they're using Ampere, which some people criticize. I don't know enough about the architecture of CPUs and GPUs to know what is and isn't good, but they're the CUDA cores is obviously a significant improvement. The GPU clocks is significantly better and stuff like that. And obviously the actual, it's like almost like a half a hertz better, or half a gigahertz better in the actual maxed out GPU clock speed. It's doubling in on the memory, and it's with the bits, and it's using DDR5, not DDR4 as well, which is not a surprising upgrade. And then obviously the memory read writes going from essentially about 25 docked and 21 mobile to 68 mobile and 100 gigabytes docked.
That's a huge jump.
That's essentially going from a hard drive to an SSD, essentially.
Yeah.
And then the memory, the system memory for the Switch 2, it's 3 gigabytes, 9 available for games as far as reserved from the 0.8. So the actual operating system is eating up a lot more space. It's significantly bigger, but the actual device has more internal memory.
Hopefully, that means it's better.
That's the hope. Who knows? It could just be a bunch of behind the scenes reasons why. Hopefully they're trying to at least make it look better.
I mean,
3 gigs isn't a whole lot of space.
At least we know that eShop's going to be somewhat better, right? Because
that's the hope with a bigger size of operating system.
I mean, that thing, you load that thing up, bro. I've got it right in front of me. You load that thing up, that eShop.
Oh, it takes forever to load.
And
it looks
so
terrible.
ridiculous. It looks terrible.
It's so slow,
and it's like the slowest thing in the world. I'm like, oh my god, this is miserable. Like, this is not a fun gaming experience. I'm like loading up now. Holy crap! I mean, this takes forever. Come on, feature. It's been like 8 seconds. What's going on here?
And I have it set up. I got to put in my password every time I go into the store, so that takes forever. I'm like, what password did I use?
I can't do that. It already takes long enough. Oh my god, it takes
forever. I don't hardly buy anything digital on there, so it's not really a problem for me.
Yeah,
outside of I really only buy DLC anymore now when I'm on the Switch store.
Don't blame you, but
I just prefer to buy the games physical if I can. So
yeah. So we've got not just one here. I put them in separate, but the ones got screenshots. But we've got the Switch 1 games that will get free 2 Switch enhancements. So that does include what I threw in here. We'll show the screenshots is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. But we've also got what else we got on there, Mark? Well, I pulled the.
I didn't have it pulled up either.
Oh, you're good.
So the list of Nintendo Switch 1 games with a Switch 2 performance update. So you've got ARMS, which will have Optima. Actually, I can pull this up real quick. It'll be a little bit for those that can see, and I'll obviously read it off for those on the audio. So ARMS will have optimized visuals, optimized frame rate, HDR support. Big Brain Academy will have they say game share, game chat support, and stuff like that. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker will have optimized visuals, HDR support, and obviously game share, game chat. Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics will have the game share stuff. Game Builder Garage updated visuals, support for the mouse controls. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe will have just visuals. Scarlet and Violet will have optimized visuals, and they say optimized frame rate, which has terrible frame rate. If you ever played it, the game slows down so badly.
Yeah, this one is by far the bit. I mean, like that's the one that's the biggest deal on this list. I mean,
it shouldn't perform as bad as it does, but I think it's just a poorly optimized game.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a Game Freak. It's a Game Freak thing. It's gotta be fair. Like in 3DS games, aren't exactly pretty either.
Yeah. So hopefully the better hardware will help them with this open world thing they want to do with better performance. Hopefully. Yeah. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury will have optimized visuals, frame rates, HDR support in Bowser's Fury, and then the game share support. As well as game chat, or they say game share support 4 players in the 3D world and then 2 players in Bowser's Fury. I don't know why it's separate, but I've not played the game.
They're like essentially 2 different games, basically.
Yeah. Super Mario Odyssey will have to optimize visuals, HDR support, game share, and game chat for up to 2 players. Echoes of Wisdom will have optimized visuals and HDR. Then Link's Awakening will have optimized visuals and HDR as well.
Thank the Lord Jesus. Link's Awakening's got problems too. Oh my god, the frame rate in that game is dreadful. I mean, the game itself is like great, but the frame rate is just they did not spend the time.
Yeah, and hopefully that list continues to grow over time as the developers will at least give you some better. But so if the game works just fine on the Switch 1, it shouldn't need this. But obviously, it'd be nice to have some kind of some updated performance and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then I just had a quick image to share here for our video watchers, but we've got. And it's going to be a little hard to. Oh, that's the wrong one.
Oops. That's the whole different graphics.
Yeah, that's.
Are you talking about the 4K screenshots for Scarlet?
Yeah, I was trying to show that.
The problem is these are screenshots, so I'm like,
I know,
you can make. you can make anything look good in a screenshot, but like, what's the frame rate with these?
Well, the other
these
thing is that
images?
we're capped at 1080p on this platform too, so I guess it doesn't really do much. But
Well, I
I
don't
mean,
care. I don't care. To me, the 1080p isn't the problem. It's the frame rate, the performance, because that game
no, that's the
lags
biggest
so
thing for
bad.
sure. I just
And
meant
it's not even
we
you lose
can't
frame
share
rates.
that.
The game itself physically slows down, and there's some areas where it just takes forever, and just battles take longer. You're just traversing takes longer. Like that's the problem
Yeah,
with the lower frame rate
I
is the
was
game slows down.
I was talking to Lucas earlier, and I was saying, this is pretty much exactly what I said. It's like the game could drop down to like 12 frames per second at
And
point.
it does regularly. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
I'm not even, and I hate to say this because I love Pokemon, but like I'm not even confident that they'll get this at a steady like lock
30.
60. Yeah, well, I said I'm not confident that we'll even get this at 60. So like I'm not confident that we'll get this at like even a steady 30 really.
Yeah, so because they say not only is it's better, but they can get more Pokemon to spawn, which is ideal. But like that's great to have more Pokemon spawn. You need that in open world, but like you need to not have performance problems, which is like the
Yeah.
big problem with this game. I mean, I've got issues with the game. I think the world's too big, too empty to be fair for an open world game. But that's like a whole different issue than the actual performance issue of the game.
I mean, like this is one of those cases where this could have, potentially if they did like a Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, Black 2, White 2, any of those type of deals, like this would have been the game to do it if it were like a Switch 2 only title and they like actually went through the game and redid stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a game that really needed the work. So like to get a sequel like that, I guess,
Yeah.
what would have this would have been the game to do it. But I'm just not confident. I do not have the faith that we'll get this at a even lock 60 and don't expect anything above that at all. I
I'll be
mean, I
surprised
just
if you have if it doesn't if it stays above 30. It would be like it'd be nice.
yeah, I mean, I could see this being one where it's like a, 30 to 45 frames per second game or something like that, where it's switching back and forth. But I don't see this at a lock 60. I still don't. And
I'm
it
sorry.
sucks because this game needs it more than any of the games on the list.
I saw this under that post. I thought it was a really funny thing. Hey, we've updated our graphics. That's just a slightly different tweak.
That's hilarious.
I was sorry, I saw that. That was
The
funny.
meme says in 1999, Japan redesigned its flag
It's
and
a slightly brighter red.
slightly brighter red. That's hilarious.
It's one of those I'm like, yeah, that's great as a screenshot. Now show me 4K where you're actually playing it with all these
Yeah.
Pokemon and not lagging at like 20 frames or 15
And
frames.
this is also not going to run at 4K either. This is going to be a 1440p.
It runs at
title.
4K if you are playing on if you play it on a PC.
Yeah, this is not running at 4K on the Switch 2. I can certainly say, I mean, I'm confident in saying that this is a 1440p title. That's what the upscale resolution is going to be. I'm confident in that. I don't think it's going to be a 4K title. I just don't. I mean, I don't. Game Freak is not like, if we're being fair, and there isn't any of the games that I dislike in the mainline games. I like Scarlet Violet. It's got its problems. I still think the game is good. I still had a good time with it, but it's got a lot of problems. But even like looking back, and we talked a little bit about this, but like Sun and Moon, stuff like that, like the games aren't pretty. The games don't run great. Like the 3D games like that, they're not, they haven't.
I mean,
I would say since the DS,
the
nothing has like particularly been like a great, steady game where it's performing well. That's because obviously it was stylized different, but with the 3DS, like, I mean, even those games, they weren't pretty. They didn't run great. There were like sections of the game where like there's this one section where like the band is playing and stuff like that with a singer and everything, and there's no music, there's nothing going on. There's no singing, there's no instruments or nothing, but they're like performing to the crowd.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's nothing going on in the game. So like there's stuff like that where like Game Freak is like just drops the ball on stuff. And they just do. I mean, unfortunately they just do now. That's just how it is. But
and then
we've come to deal with it,
Yeah, I need you to come to make a really hard decision right now. I need you to pick one of these 4 options, like right now.
I saw this one. I mean, for me, personally, like this is not going to be the choice for probably 9 out of 10 people, but it's going to be number 2 because
That's crazy.
I know 2 and 3 is hard. I know, like
for me, it really came down to 3 and 4, and I was like,
no,
I think I'd take 3.
And I get 4 too, but for me, the DS I told you it's one of my favorite systems of all time. Like it just is.
But it's the DS with those specific games. That's it.
Oh, if it's just those games,
it's just the games on screen. So
if it's just those games, it's 4 for me. Like I love Metroid Prime, but I mean, sorry, Luigi's Mansion just doesn't nothing. None of the games on the list beat out Ocarina of Time for me. They just don't. I love Metroid Prime. Don't get me wrong. I love the Spider-Man game on PS1.
I still think
I
Prime
like Final Fantasy 8.
I don't care for Ocarina of Time all that much. I know it's a hot take.
I love it. I
just don't think it's aged all that well. I think it was great for its time and it was iconic, but as time goes on, I just don't think it holds up in value. Now without remaking the game.
They pretty much did on the 3DS, bro.
It's still the same game.
Remaster.
It's a coat of paint. Was it what it had?
It's a really good coat of paint, though. You can play that. There's nothing wrong with that remaster.
But it's still the core game from the 64.
Have you even played it?
Yeah.
You loaded it up. I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
I didn't beat it. No, but I played several hours of the game. I played like 4 or 5 hours of it.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Well, then 4 or 5 hours, bro. You're almost through the game. What are you doing? The game's short, man. It's not that long. Come on. I mean, at least beat the game and then give me your opinion. You know,
I don't need to beat a game to have an opinion on a game.
I see now.
I just don't have the will to want to finish the game. That's the problem.
That sucks, man. When you're collecting all the Zelda games, and then you got like one of the best ones in your hand.
There's a lot of games. It's gonna take me forever to get through all these games, anyways. It's like a whole different issue.
So you just don't like Ocarina of Time?
I don't.
At all?
I don't like either the 64. I just don't think they've held up as far as
I get is one of my least favorites.
I think Mario 64 has held up better than Ocarina of Time has.
I mean, I think overall, like as far as the game itself, playing the game, I think I agree with you.
It's one of those games. It's iconic.
But I don't think
I would like a remake of it. I just think the game as it is on the 64 it's one of those games that just didn't age as time went on. It's just aged poorly, both graphically and mechanically.
I don't feel that way at all. I mean, like if you think like Tomb Raider right there, that's one where like you go back and play it. That's one where I think it doesn't age well at all. The controls for it, like have you
of those PlayStation games? I think I haven't played the Spider-Man, but Tomb Raider and Final Fantasy on there is probably the only game that's aged well. But that's what Final Fantasy 9.
That's 8, I believe.
8?
Yeah,
I can't tell. It's not the best resolution.
Yeah, that's 9. Sorry,
but those games age differently because they're JRPGs and they're more. It's just a different style of game and stuff like that.
But Nintendo aged perfectly. You know,
that's Nintendo a game.
I mean, I played Nintendo, but you know,
like I think Prime is aged better than what SSX. Is it a skating or a snowboarding game? I can't remember.
Snowboarding game, bro. That game's aged great.
That's not the one I played then. I thought it was skateboarding. No, it was the 1080 game was the skateboarding game that I remember playing.
I like 1080.
I mean, it's just a skateboarding, so it ages better
snowboarding game
differently.
1080.
Like I like playing GoldenEye 007, but it's not aged all that well.
Yeah, that game's not
hard game to go back and play.
The controls, that game is not aged well at all. As far as the controls, horrible. Absolutely.
But I still like to go back but yeah.
It's still fun. I mean, it's one of those ones where it's like
at this point.
It's better to play it on NSO, I'll tell you that, than it is I mean I say that and then we played it.
And then like if I said you played terrible at that game.
Yeah. It was yeah, I don't know. Maybe I take that opinion back, but I don't even know. Anyway, Ocarina of Time I think is great. I think it's aged great, but you know,
I think it's just difference of opinion at the end of the day.
I just think you're wrong. I don't even think it's a difference in opinion. I think you are dead wrong.
I mean, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but I'm just messing.
We'll agree to disagree.
What do we got next?
Some Ubisoft stuff going on. Oh, because they had their their investor call.
Yeah,
and essentially their investor call verified what we knew. Assassin's Creed didn't save them. They lost money.
You're really excited about this one.
So for their fiscal year of 24-25, Ubisoft reported a €159 million loss with a 20.5% drop in their net bookings. And I think they had a decent drop in their stock after this investor call.
Yeah, you have to pull the stock up, but I mean, yeah, 20.5% drop in net bookings. It says Assassin's Creed Shadow had strong sales but poor performances. Ubisoft aims to break even in 2025 to 2026.
Yeah, so they had about a when their investor call happened, they had about a 15% in their stock drop like the day of the investor meeting. It was not ideal.
Look at that spike. That's crazy.
Year to date, because this isn't like the main one, but it follows. There's different listings for the Ubisoft.
I mean, pull up the max so we can show them. Look at that.
This max only goes back to let me pull up
because you showed me one that showed like for a while, I think, before, right?
Yeah, the Google wasn't given the ideal one. Okay, so Yahoo Finance is going to actually give me what I want. It's going to bring up the proper. So you can still see on the Ubisoft, or the Yahoo, you still see that drop off. But the all time, this goes back to like 2000. So it peaked around 2018 pre-COVID, and then it's just been a steady drop off after 2020.
Yeah, the drop's not good, man.
So what their price peaked in the 90s, and it's just been a steady drop up ever since. Because I think it's under $10 right now.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
it's not good.
I mean, it's unfortunate, but like, you know, when you're putting out absolute garbage, it's, you know, what do you expect? And like they just announced
essentially your aren't making money.
Free to play game after this, which I said before they announced this, that would be the death sentence of them. And I feel pretty strongly in the fact that either Ubisoft gets sold off or Ubisoft potentially.
If Ubisoft gets sold off, Tencent's their IPs are gonna be owned by Tencent. That's kind of where they're going.
It'd be
even if Assassin's Creed had been in the financial success they wanted, they're still in the hole. Like that game had to sell like 10 million copies just to
they spent like what,
$250
million on it or something crazy.
Yeah, that's on top of the other two games they'd published that didn't make them money. Like Assassin's Creed itself had to make like a lot of money just to compensate for their losses in their other two games.
Yeah, I mean it's just it's ridiculous. Like the decisions they continue to make are stupid. I think we'll probably play it. I think it's just because you were like a big player of it before, but like I think the whole like Siege X attempt is stupid. I think the new free to play thing that they announced is pretty stupid, like really, really stupid. And they announced that they're going to go up against Overwatch after this.
They're making desperate decisions because they're trying to chase trends to get people to come back,
bro. Because one game out of 20 in that category is successful does not mean that you chase after that game. Because Marvel Rivals was an unexpected success. That was one that I think is across the board because. First of all, the interest in Overwatch 2 had dropped dramatically. Nobody cared about that game. The people I knew that played Overwatch did not care anymore. They were done. They were already done.
Well, because a lot of their stuff they'd put in Overwatch 1 didn't transfer over.
Yeah, it didn't at all. And it's like you know, it's one of those things where we keep getting it like that. The Star Wars game came out that was the same thing. That was an arena shooter like that, and it like Star Wars Hunters. The game was like around for like 8 months before they announced they're closing it down. And, you know, things like that. Star Wars is a big IP, you know? So I think it's stupid for them to chase trends. I think a lot of the decisions they made with Assassin's Creed Shadows is stupid. So I think this was to be expected, but that's just my opinion, you know?
I mean, you can't lose 20, you can't have a drop in sales of 20% year over year and it not to be really bad.
Yeah. I mean, it's just crazy. Absolute craziness. So. And then next we got an update, which is totally unexpected. Square Enix finally breaks silence on Kingdom Hearts 4, shares screenshots, says it's dedicated to making this experience that lives up to your expectations. So they did share some screenshots that we got to see on social media. I saw
like 10 games under this weird umbrella they have.
Yeah.
So, and they're not even properly labeled. Like, I don't like what old game orders do you play at this point? Like, it's so weird.
I would say this is the most convoluted series that I'm aware of. Period.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, I do believe that it's one of those. This is how bad it is, Mark. Let me put it this way. So the last two Kingdom Hearts releases, I had to go back and listen to a timeline of the story because I got so confused with the games. When Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, I did it again. So I did it with the one before that came out, and I did it with Kingdom Hearts 3. I was really disappointed with 3. I will say that. But
all right, well, I mean, if you want, here I can we can bring it up real quick.
Okay.
So you've got Kingdom Hearts, then Chain of Memories, then Kingdom Hearts 2, then a Rechain of Memories, Coded, which is a mobile game, 358/2 Days, Birth by Sleep Recoded. Then you've got Dream Drop Distance,
My
1.5
favorite
Remix, X, 2.5 Remix, Unchained Union X, 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue, Kingdom Hearts 3, Dark Road, Melody of Memory, then Kingdom Hearts 4. Like this is insane. And I'm pretty sure all these are like mainline, like all the stories tie together. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem with the series, is that like there is no technically spin-offs because they all, like, everything ties together. So like they're all important.
Yeah, there's like 15 games in this game series.
And they're
started
like
back
very
in 2002.
confusing with the titles because like some of them shoot off here and here and here. It's like Chain of Memories. Oh, here, let's throw you over to this card-based game that has like nothing like the other games, but you get this is their story here, so you want to play this game. It's
on top of like Coded, which is a phone game that you can't play anymore.
That's why they did Recoded, which came out on the DS. But yeah, it was a mobile only game in Japan, and it's like this has story.
A DS game from 2010 that is probably not the easiest thing to find at this point, unless they've remastered it in one of these other 2.1.5.
It is you can get. So the good thing that they did was make the all-in-one package, which has
you have to. This is so convoluted.
Yeah, essentially they put together this package that has the full story, everything in it. But
this is the worst.
All the games are there because some of it is just the story of the game, so you can watch all.
That's even worse.
Yeah, like not all the games are in that package. Don't think you're getting that for $30. Unfortunately, not all the games are in there. A lot of it is like you have to go through and watch the story of the game, but it's so convoluted. It's such a mess. But I will say
that you're like, who is in charge of like the naming scheme? Like I don't. It's not that these games don't exist. It's like what order do you play? The way they're named and everything else. Or like 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue. Like what is that? Yeah. Who named that? Just make it the Kingdom Hearts 3 Prologue or something like that.
I know it's crazy, but
like, make it make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense. This was I think the most important image here. I was looking through them, and it just kind of shows sort of the deal. What's going on?
Kind of looks like it's like a Japanese game, like any other games I've played before.
Yeah, I mean my problem with the game is, unfortunately, I cannot get the screenshot of the one saved where I wanted to show his face, but they've completely like 180 shifted the art style for this game. So now they're going for a realism sort of deal with the sort of aesthetic of Sora and the character. Like, you see what I'm talking about, Mark? And
I don't know if that's gonna work the way they think it will.
It's like a realism thing, and I'm like, this is not Kingdom Hearts. I don't like that. I don't want a realism thing for Kingdom Hearts. I just don't. I mean, you already like semi tried to do it with 3. Like, they didn't go this far where it's like a complete, he's like, does not even look like the same character to me. It's like, you could tell it's him, obviously, but it just does. The art style is so significantly different. I don't think it looks good. I don't like
the game. I was trying to think of it. It reminds me of like Scarlet Nexus as far as like the graphics.
Yeah,
that game came out like what 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, it was like a launch title for PS5, right?
No, not PS. It came out before PS5, I thought.
Oh, really?
It's on the PS4. It has a PS5 version, but it's also on the PS4.
Okay. Well, maybe I was just thinking the PS5 version, or at least launch window or whatever, or something
Scarlet
like that.
Nexus.
I think.
When did it come out?
Maybe it was 2021. I don't know.
Oh, it came out in 2021. So I guess it came out on the 4 and the 5. I played it on PC first. So
okay. So it wasn't launch title then, but
it wasn't launch title, but it launched on both simultaneously.
Yeah.
Which means it's a PS4 era game.
But they said, we've seen how excited you are, and we are truly grateful from the bottom of our hearts. We're equally excited and can't wait to share more about Kingdom Hearts 4 when the time is right. Until then, we appreciate your patience. Thank you for the continued support. I mean, Obviously I want this to be good. I think that 3, I don't want to say it's a bad game, but it's a very very mid game. It's just very mediocre. It's just one of my least favorites in the entire series, personally. I think a lot of other people felt like it was pretty much a letdown because that game was in development for a very long time. 15 years or something.
Yeah, was
So,
this the one you were thinking of, Brandon?
that's the one I was. So
This
you
low
look at
quality
this.
image.
Yeah, the images are ridiculously low quality. I was like, what the heck? Why would you?
It
even
looks
put
like you
these
took a
out?
picture on a mobile phone.
Yeah, it does.
Of the actual picture.
It really does look like that. That's why I was saying the one was the only one good picture. But you look at the art style, and it's like you're going for a realism thing. It's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of they're trying to make it like a Final Fantasy direction, like they did it for Final Fantasy 15 and 16, where they went for the realism approach and it worked for Final Fantasy. But that doesn't mean you need to do it in this other series that is a series that has Disney characters in it. For the love of God, why?
I think this either need to be done with Kingdom Hearts or it needs like a reset. It's like a mess at this point. It's taken them almost 25 years to tell this story. Like that's forever.
I mean, you can say the same thing about Final Fantasy though, right? Except they kind of reset and it is
each Final Fantasy game its own thing. They don't really connect for the most part.
Yeah,
I mean you had 10 and 10 too,
but it's
most Final Fantasies, it's like a standalone story.
Some people would say with the name Final Fantasy, you would have been done with the first game, because it was the Final Fantasy, But I mean, Fair enough. Is one of those things where it does seem like they're going in the direction of Final Fantasy with the art style, and I don't understand why. I just can't comprehend why they would want to do that with this series that has
different. Who knows?
I don't know. And it was heavily, people critique that heavily when they did that with Final Fantasy, especially with Final Fantasy 15, where they brought in the car and stuff that you drive around. And people were like, okay, this is going for a way too realistic approach. And Final Fantasy 15 is one of the lowest in the series. I certainly don't love that game at all. I think it's like a 6 out of 10. Final Fantasy 15, but it seems like that's the exact direction they're going with the art style. It's just disappointing.
Yeah, I saw someone comment under this IGN article. They say Square and Nomura literally can't stop themselves from announcing games too early. It's been over 3 years, and only they've got to show for their blurry screenshots on a game they've been developing for 10 years.
Well, no, that was 3, but this game, I mean, how long has it been since 3 came out? Actually, probably 6 years, something like that.
I can pull it back up.
I can't remember if that came out 2018, maybe.
Kingdom Hearts 3 came out in 2019, so it's been 6 years.
So I mean, that's we're going on the approach of Kingdom Hearts 3.
Well, you look at this. If you just look at the I'm assuming these are just the mainline games. Kingdom Hearts 1, 2002. Kingdom Hearts 2, 2005. Kingdom Hearts 3 came out in 2019. That's what I said. It was 14 years.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I know. I mean,
let's just do a bunch of spinoffs.
And then you had 10 games in between that. That's where it got so confusing. You're like, 1, 2.
And 2.5 remix. They came out within a year of each other. And it was another 5-6 years before 3 came out.
I mean, I just can't understand what the deal is, because this is such a big series for Square Enix.
I'm gonna call it Kingdom Hearts 4 is gonna come out in 20. It's not coming out before 2030. It's next gen hardware.
So GTA 6 first.
100%. This game's probably gonna come out in another 5 years, just because of the track record they have with these games.
I mean, I'd believe it. I mean, honestly, I have no faith in I don't understand, because Square Enix is such a big company, such a profitable, huge company.
I don't know what they're thinking.
Big series what is the deal with the time span on these games? I just can't understand.
Why is it taking 25-30 years to get 4 mainline games out? That's my problem. These spinoffs are great, but they shouldn't. Why do you need this many?
And here's the 2 and 3 part. One of the spinoffs is my favorite game of the series. So and my second favorite game.
What other major IP has this kind of timeline problem?
It's a problem. It's a real problem. I don't know.
The only timeline that's kind of quasi convoluted that's Japanese is the Nier timeline. because of it's the spinoff of the Dragon Guard, which is the Dragon Guard timeline's kind of the mess. The Nier timeline's kind of clean.
Final Fantasy is pretty convoluted. Yeah, I mean,
but the Final Fantasy, they're usually their own thing. There's like 3 Dragon Guard games, and that's like a mess of a timeline because there's so many spinoff endings that are all technically canon.
Yeah,
because Nier is a spinoff of one of the endings of either 1 or 2. I can't remember. Maybe it's 3.
Or
but the Dragon Guard timeline is in its own. Like I think I saw like a story explanation. It was like 7 hours or something, like 4 to 7 hours on YouTube.
Yeah,
it was a long time.
Well,
like,
that's Jesus. What I said. I had the last 2 games that came out. I had to go back and watch the timeline of the games because I was like, I couldn't remember. I just cannot. Yeah. I can't. I don't know. There's one.
Like, there's the problem of some of these Japanese or JRPG games. They get so convoluted. Not the Tales game, but the Legend of the Hero. Is it?
Are you talking about Trials or?
Yeah, I think it's Trials.
Or you're talking about Trails, right? Sorry, Trails.
I'm trying to find the game real quick. I gotta scroll through. So, like, Legend of Heroes, Trails in the Sky, like that is a convoluted timeline, but at least it makes sense. And there's like they're all in the same time. These games go together, and you can play them kind of like standalone. This game you can kind of do standalone, but they all kind of tie together. Like that's usually the problem you deal with. Is it's just like here's 10 games. They're all in the same timeline, but they are kind of quasi standalone.
Pretty much.
Or this makes sense if you played this game.
Like Ease is the same way. You can kind of say it about all those big JRPG series that are long running since like the early console days.
I think Kingdom Hearts is probably one of the more convoluted ones as far as like
the game scheming is the worst part. If they would have named these a little, that for anybody,
just think we could have had the Xbox 720. They wouldn't give it to us. They had to go Xbox One. Like make that make sense.
The Mortal Kombat.
That naming scheme makes more sense than some of these games.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But we've also got this is obviously a big one. I think it's the last thing that we got for tonight. Super Mario Brothers World got announced as the sequel movie to Super Mario Brothers. So that's pretty cool. I mean, that obviously means that they're obviously going the naming scheming of the 2D games. I like that. I think it's pretty
Is this gonna actually turn Super Mario World into like a movie? Like take that game? Because that'd be kind of neat.
It would be really
Super Mario World's an actual game, so if you're gonna call it that, like make it tie into that game to some degree.
My other
you got all the Koopa kids on top of Bowser and the Peach and stuff like that. Like I could see that them taking that game and doing what they did with the first movie. They could obviously they're gonna change it up because that game's kind of quasi open world. It's got different paths to actually beat the game.
Yeah.
But they could use different sections, and there's very different environments in that game they could add to the story as Mario and Yoshi travel on, and they got to go through all the Koopalings and stuff like that.
Yeah, it says it's not clear who will be returning for the sequel, but a Super Mario World movie follows the same premise as the game. We expect Pratt, Day, and Black to reprise their roles. It will be released on April 3rd, 2026. So, I mean, less than a year away, and that's pretty good timing. Obviously the first movie is fantastic, so I do have full faith that the movie is probably going to be good, I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, I would love to see him follow like sort of the premise of the game. That would be cool. And also you have to think too, they've got the Super Mario World amusement park now, so that's the other thing with the name scheming for the thing. It kind of ties into 2 different things, you know what I mean? Like ties into 2 other things. So look at that. I mean, that's just classic.
I saw this video on one of the on the tweet and stuff like that. I was like, oh my god, this is like old animation.
If you don't love this, you're not a Mario fan. I'm just saying.
Did you actually watch the cartoon?
Dude, I loved it. Yeah, Super Mario Bros. 3 cartoon.
Did this use it? Is this what it came from? Or is this different?
I think that's what that's not what this is from. I think this is from Super Mario Bros. Super Show. Okay, this is from the Super Mario World. So I've got packages of the DVDs that have a bunch of the different episodes on it. So it's got Super Mario Bros. 3 show, Super Mario World, and I got a Super Mario Bros. Super Show, which had also live action thrown into it with animation, which is the live action.
Oh, was not good, I know what you're talking about. I think I pulled up the right one here.
Yeah, I had it tied in with like animation. It was ridiculously bad, but it was like, this is it.
It's the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
This is it. Look,
oh my, talk about a throwback.
like it's so cheesy.
This is like peak 90s right here.
Yeah. But there's,
oh my god. We just have the background. Oh my
I
god.
mean, there's just something charming about those other animated shows and stuff, though, that I just thought. And same with the Zelda cartoon, not the CDI stuff. The cartoon I thought was also really good too. And do you remember Captain N at all?
I don't think so. I don't know.
So if you look up Captain N, Captain N was like a Nintendo animated show that tied in all the Nintendo IPs together into one show. But it was an animated show back in the day, where they brought in all. They're like, here, let's bring in all our series into this one show, and like even like Mega Man was in it. I think
no, I've never seen this before.
Yeah, Captain N.
Because I assume this is like what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Captain N in the new Super Mario World.
Yeah. So I mean, this was a classic cartoon too that tied in a bunch of Nintendo series and stuff. So yeah. Anyway, I mean, kind of getting off topic on that a little bit, but I'm looking forward to it. And I think I agree with you. If it like follows the premise of the game, that would be really cool. But even if it does like its own thing and is more of just like a name scheming thing, I'm sure it'll be good.
You can get the DVD for $70, 2 disc set.
It's a little overpriced, but yeah, pretty overpriced. But I mean, it's not on Blu-ray or nothing, so you know, and I don't think it's streaming anywhere.
If this is right, 2007, I'm surprised it was printed as soon as then.
Yeah, I am too. Actually, I am, because it's got the classic DVD clamshell, where you had to open it up on the side, and flip it. Yeah, look at those prices. I don't like that.
It's like I didn't share this tab instead.
That's like anime pricing right there. That's GBP. Psh.
It's eBay. It's different, a bunch of different stuff, but
yeah. But no, I mean that'll be definitely pretty cool. But do you think we got anything else this week, Mark?
No, I think we hit most of the stuff that I can think of. Because obviously Doom just dropped, so we're gonna see. I've heard a lot of good stuff about that. Stellar Blade comes out on the 11th. The Switch comes out like a week before that. That game comes out, so June's gonna be a really big month for sure. A lot of stuff dropping in June.
Yeah. So definitely give us a follow on social media, stay updated on everything. And then we are live every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the podcast, and then we're live every Friday at 8 p.m. as well with the streaming, weekly streaming that we do. I'm not sure if you're watching live. I'm not sure what we're streaming yet tomorrow. Do you have any idea, or is there anything that you want to play? Or
yeah, I'm not. I think we have to figure that out.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure yet. We hadn't talked about it, but I guess to close out, if you scout Pokemon cards, you are a loser. We'll see you all later. See you next week. Thanks for listening. Give us a follow or subscribe, whatever, on any of the audio platforms. It helps us out a lot. And have a good one, guys. Thanks.
Yeah. Peace out, everybody.